Tornado Tag Podcast. We are here, episode 157. The May.
Wow.
May. It's gonna be.
We can
May.
say the date this time.
May. It is
May
the
26th.
May of 2022 TTP Rankings. So this is something new we're going to bring to the show. We're going to do this at the end of every month,
And it will go on your permanent record.
It will. We're gonna keep track of all of this, and then we are gonna quiz you guys when we get famous.
Yes.
I think you're safe. But we are going to pretty much do our monthly rankings. So this isn't like overall. This isn't like who the current. I mean, everyone might have a different list. Some people may do a complete kayfabe list where the champion's number one. Some people may not. Some people may have completely ridiculous things.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I have a sneak preview. There's going to be some very ridiculous things.
There's going to be some disagreements.
Brian was raging over my picks, which I'm super excited for.
I haven't mentioned mine yet, but based on the earlier conversation, he's gonna rage at where.
So we are going to cover the top males, females, tag teams, heels, baby faces, promotions, and angles, segments, or promos.
My number one angle, Kurt.
Yes,
acute.
Obtuse.
And match.
Yeah, well, I did say, because we did cover Judgment Day 2002 earlier this month, my favorite wrestler of the month of May 2022 was 2002 Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
It's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
No, it is. No, it is incredibly hard. That is in a vacuum at one point in time, especially for only being in wrestling for 3 years. One of the best wrestlers
He
ever.
shouldn't have been that good, but he was.
It was unfair how good Kurt Angle was very quickly.
And our list will consist of what you see on TV and also the independents.
So it's going to lean toward independence by us because that's what we see.
So, spoiler alert, I'm going to have some independent stuff because if I think it was a good match for the month, I'm going to put it in there. And hopefully maybe this kind of opens the eyes for some people who are like, well, how do I watch that? Or how do I go about doing that? And we'll kind of put that in with you too. So this month, I'm probably going to lean heavily with one show because we didn't know we were doing this until last week. So we will be a lot better prepared next month, where if we do watch independent stuff, I'm going to try to watch a lot more going forward. Especially I want to add other shows to this too, because I want to really dive into more content.
By the way, if you want a little teaser for next week, we'll be talking about, because of the Ric Flair news, famous last matches of wrestlers.
So like actual last matches, or matches where like guys came out of retirement?
Both. Like what was billed as their retirement match, and then what was really their last match.
Okay.
Who has the most retirement matches?
It's got to be Terry Funk, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be Terry.
Yeah.
Well, certain people go on like a retirement tour, like Avery Goodwin on a tour, but his retirement match was his final match.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
like Sean in Saudi Arabia, like
because his last match is against the Undertaker, but his real last match is
Against the Undertaker.
yeah.
and Kane.
And Kane.
Yeah.
And hair loss.
And hair loss.
And he lost that one.
Yeah.
Man, Terry Funk, he was one that you couldn't keep him away from it. He's, I'm done, and then he'd jump right back in.
He might actually jump in and try to fight Flair. Who knows?
We don't know.
Ric Flair, you banana nose.
But anyway, so we're gonna get into some wrestling news. Not a lot to cover. I mean,
Bit of a
obviously,
slow news.
A little slow
That too.
news week.
I was praying for snow at PPW this past weekend.
Oh.
It was a hot one.
Oh.
I almost died.
It wasn't
The
bad,
whole
right?
car ride home. I told Brian, like, if I die, just like my family, I love them.
Well, I would probably die too because you were driving.
I would have pulled over and died. I would have been passionate. I would have been nice about it, you know.
Yeah, you would have been nice. Left me on the side of the road.
We have one person in the chat saying, "Do you think Goldberg come back?" Please, God, no.
Hey man, if it means that a Jew's gonna win a title again in Saudi Arabia, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm so
go for
serious about that.
You know what? That is the best thing. I think.
It's the only redeeming quality of that, because I don't want to sit through a Goldberg match. And his last couple matches, like the one with Bobby Lashley.
What if he would have leaned into it more and came out with a big like?
He said he
star
wanted to
debut?
early on. He said he
Really?
wanted to early on, but they wanted to do the all black kind of like because that was Steve Austin was doing. But he did in WCW. He did want to incorporate like maybe a Star of David onto his gear.
That would have gave him a little bit more depth as a character, other than
He could have been the Jew Bear before the Jew Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing.
What's your thing? Killing Nazis. And he's just joining Goldberg.
Yeah, that would have been a cool thing. Like a Jewish guy just kicks ass. That would've been a cool gimmick.
Yeah. Well, I feel like
Goldberg's career could have been so much different for him.
Here's something though. Judaism may play into something on my list.
Ooh.
I think it's going to play into a
Is it
lot
Judas? Is it Christian?
No. It's literally Judaism.
Okay.
All right. Interesting. News, Brian.
News-wise, not a whole lot going on. We will, I guess, if you want to run down the card for AW Double or Nothing.
We're gonna
that's
end
the
with
big
that.
thing. Okay, we'll end with
Yeah,
that.
we'll end with Double or Nothing.
So the big news earlier this week was the whole deal where Money in the Bank is no longer going to be at Allegiant Stadium.
For
I
people
guess-
who are wondering, Allegiant Stadium, that's the Raiders
Death Star,
Stadium.
yeah.
Yeah.
The big black stadium.
They were going to be the first wrestling promotion in there.
Well, they already were. They did SummerSlam there.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah.
Did a whole big promo with Cody too for it, and
Mhm.
now it's not going to be there.
Well, because there was this whole thing where they're like, there's almost going to be like a cask system with pay-per-views now because they're going to have the big stadium shows. Like the Rumble's going to be in a stadium, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. They were going to put Money in the Bank in the stadium. They're doing a big stadium show in England coming up.
Yeah.
And Survivor Series might be in a stadium. It would have to be a dome or warm weather. The Rumble's usually in a baseball park. And now it looks like, well, maybe they're not drawing enough of the house. It reminded me of WrestleMania 7, which is so funny because I saw the clip from Bag and Beers when you have me just rattle off the card to WrestleMania 7.
Good little
And
parlor tricks.
I'm fun at parties. Hey, what was the card for SummerSlam 1990? Well, you see, it was the Rockers and Power and Glory. That wasn't really the first match of that show.
I literally said the location and the date, and he was like, WrestleMania 7.
Yeah, the LA. Well, because this is the story I'm getting at. That show was supposed to be because they announced WrestleMania 7's location during WrestleMania 6, where they packed the Sky Dome. They're still in the height of Hulkamania. It's still going strong. Hogan Warrior packed the house, and they announced that night WrestleMania 7 is going to be at the LA Sports or the LA Coliseum, which is where the Raiders played when they were in LA and the Rams played. It's a huge. They built it for the Olympics in 1984. It was a huge 100,000 seat plus stadium. This would have been the biggest wrestling show ever to that point if they would have packed it. But then wrestling started to taper off a little bit. You had some scandals coming up, and it just became kind of uncool. And so they said it was because Sergeant Slaughter was doing this Iraqi sympathizer gimmick, and
Yeah.
there were security concerns. It was because the house was bad. They had sold like 10,000 tickets in advance. They're like, they didn't want to be in an empty stadium.
Yeah.
So they moved it to the LA Sports Arena, which is a much smaller venue indoors. And I don't know how they thought they were going to pack that stadium when their initial idea for a main event was Hulk Hogan against Sheik Tugboat. Yeah. But anyway, it reminded me of that. So yeah, there's definitely going to be some downsizing there. Also, there's some rumors about who Roman Reigns' next opponents are going to be. Matt Riddle is the rumored opponent for Money in the Bank. They started to build toward that now.
Seems the most obvious
because
since that SmackDown in Wilkes-Barre that ended with him knee striking, it just seems to make the most sense.
Did we cover that last week? I think we did. That Roman's going to have like a lesser schedule
Yeah.
now. He's
Mhm.
going to almost a Brock schedule. He's not going to be on Hell in a Cell.
You know what bums me out a little bit? It's kind of like when Ruby went for the title twice in AEW, and you're like, she's not winning it.
Yeah.
You're like, man, it would be cool to see a title run.
Yeah.
That's kind of Riddle for me. Like, man, I'd like to see Riddle.
I don't
be
know.
world
I've been
champion.
getting that main event rub with Randy
It's
Orton.
Cody next. It's Cody.
I think so. And then
Cody's too hot right now not to.
then
Which I think, I'm sorry, like, I think Riddle's just as hot. People are into Matt Riddle.
I'll get into that.
the Riddle's over.
I'll get into that.
But I think Cody just has that extra something I don't think Riddle has.
He makes Cody for me.
His last
makes-
name.
Well, not only that,
He has
he
a
makes
presence. He has a presence.
emotion tangible. Like everything he does, you can feel what he's doing.
Like I don't think Cody's as good as Cody thinks he is, but he's pretty good.
My
Yeah.
problem is listen, I think he's talented. I think he's good. But his promos to me are all like, I come from nothing. You didn't.
No.
Like I worked so I'm sure you worked hard, but like at the end
I
of the
just
day,
want him to lean into it. I've won and down with kings and queens,
Like-
and I have left it all away,
Like
then
it-
down the puff.
it's kind of like Charlotte saying like it's like you give all the credit to the world because at the end of the day you have to be good at your job,
yeah,
and they both are good at their job regardless of who their dads are.
yeah.
But it's just like you didn't do what other people did and kind of fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not Joe Smo who started in a small little building and worked your way up.
No, but on the same hand, he is someone who has done things that
But
no one else.
But he
has
took
done.
his name
Mhm.
and went on the independent scene.
Well, actually, he
and
couldn't use his name.
Well, also, if we want to talk about name, what happened to Ted DiBiase Jr.?
he's not as good.
Welfare fraud.
Yes, true. That's true.
He's not as talented as Cody Rhodes. And I'm not taking away Cody Rhodes' talent. He's
Yeah.
very talented.
Because you can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
How
and
are we going to talk about every member of Legacy but our buddy Alpha?
Yeah.
Yeah, Manu.
Yeah. But it's it's just tough. You know what I mean? Like for me, and like all his promos are like, I'll claw, I'll fight, I'll claw. I'm the best. I'm like,
He
you know,
says the same 3 or 4 keywords all the
yeah.
time.
He just it's like a not trying to get political, but he's like a Trump rally. Like
No, but
you know what he's gonna play
But
to.
that's his character. He's literally, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. He's George Washington. That is his role in
that's a good call. I
in
like that
professional
one.
wrestling. He helped start a new nation, literally. And once they were ready, he's like, okay, I need to be serious about my life and win some titles. Maybe.
Now, I still don't believe it was I need to be serious about my life. I think it was I'm crying because I'm not getting what I want here and I'm going to go somewhere else. And fine, that's fine.
I see that.
He works so much better as a wrestling or a sports entertainer than he does in AEW as a wrestler now.
And I think that was probably where the creative standoff was too.
Yeah, I think he left WWE the first time, and then he left AEW for similar reasons. Like, okay, I've kind of hit, I'm bumping up against the ceiling here. I don't see a progression forward. Let me sidestep it and go in another direction.
Real quick, I just completely realized this. For audio listeners, Austin is here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. True. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So Andy had a tough day at work today, and he could not make it. But
I think he got jumped by that no good Fox Vineyard.
I think Fox Vineyard fucking jumped him.
Because it's official now. Ladder match.
Ladder match
for the title.
PPW for the TV title. The WYLN TV title.
Yeah.
If Andy wins it back, we have to this time. We really have to get him to all the businesses in Hazleton. I'm your champion. I'm here, baby.
I'm here for a free sandwich.
Go to Miracoya.
Yeah.
Take some free sake. But yeah, no, I'm back.
Yeah. Oh, someone says I recognize his face. Yeah, but when we do play this back for audio only listeners, they're like, that doesn't sound like Andy Header.
No.
Yeah. But we love you, Sharon. Thank you. Yeah. So. Any other news?
Yeah. After that, the plan supposedly is to Roman against Randy Orton at SummerSlam, and then they're going to do a big stadium show. I forget the name of it, but it's going to be a stadium show in England or Wales, I believe, possibly.
Oh.
And the main event is tentatively scheduled to be Roman against Drew McIntyre. You might see a title change there if it's going to be in England. And I say tentatively because there's talk that they might bring in Tyson Fury, the famous boxer, again. Mm-hmm. And then it might be Drew against Tyson Fury.
Yeah, because they, after Tyson's last fight, he immediately was tweeting at Drew McIntyre. I think he brought him up in his post-match, like after he was done fighting. He brought up WWE.
In his post-match.
And Drew quote tweeted it and was like, oh, okay, I'll see you there.
Now, would this be smart to get it? Because I'm still holding out that it's going to happen. We're going to get fucking Roman Rock at Mania. Like that's got to be a main.
The rumor is The Rock has nothing planned movie-wise for the first quarter of 2023. So it's
literally
possible.
From like January to
and you don't need a title on Roman to fight. Actually, a title there would almost maybe even hinder it.
Well, no, but look at John Cena versus The Rock with CM Punk in the background. Like, if you have the opportunity to put the title on the line in that match, you do it.
But if you don't have a title. And now you do Cody versus Drew for a title.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 blockbuster matches.
Especially because it's a 2-night WrestleMania now. So night 1 could be Roman and The Rock, or probably realistically night 1 could be Cody and Drew.
Yeah.
And night 2 could be Roman and The Rock.
Yeah, I do feel. Well, would they be for separate titles or
the Roman Rock would not be for it? So it would be the dream match.
Another rumor is that essentially the brand splits over.
Yes, that's where I was getting to. Like they're saying, the brand split is for all intents and purposes dead.
So
Bloodline's been on Raw.
You're gonna have.
They're saying half of Raw will be booked for SmackDown.
The Bloodlines are the Usos now. I guess I don't know what they're called. The Bloodline, the Uso brothers. They have the unified championships.
Yeah, they unified these.
So it's only a matter of time before we just get one belt.
Yeah, and then you can unify the women's titles. You can unify the secondary titles. You could do. I don't even know. Who is the Intercontinental Champion right now?
See, I would keep.
It's Ricochet.
I would still keep. I would still keep those 2 titles. I would keep US and I would keep Intercontinental separate.
They don't. I would rather take 2 titles that mean nothing right now. And well, no, that's not fair. The US title I do a little bit more with.
They pick and choose.
Yeah, I would take the 2 titles that mean nothing in tournament and 1 title that means something.
So then also I feel like having 2 mid-card titles isn't the worst. Like you can still combine the US.
Hang on, who's the US champion? Is it Balor?
No, it's Theory.
Theory. Oh yeah. It shows how much I've been paying attention to WWE.
Because I couldn't believe Finn lost to Theory. He's like, oh my god.
They love Theory.
Yeah. He's got that work ethic that WWE just is gonna eat up.
Yep.
All his, as long as he's still in his 20s.
He's Finn Balor but younger.
No, he's John Cena, but younger.
Yes, he's
John. He is.
I'm saying like size.
he's
and
John Cena,
stature-wise.
but younger and
Is he bigger?
Yeah, he's
He's a
bigger.
I always
guy.
thought he was smaller.
No,
not the best talker in the world yet.
well, no, but he's sticking to like a simple
Yeah.
like heel delivery.
All right. Anything else?
News wise, I believe Lance on Hawaii. So,
Oh yeah, congratulations. Lance Hawaii is signed to MLW. Congratulations, bud.
I don't know how a clap would sound in the mic, so I'm not going to do it.
We'll
but
just
I was
everyone pretend you heard claps there. No, seriously, we're happy. That's good for him.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to downplay it or anything.
I think that's all the big news.
New TNT title coming.
Oh yeah,
again.
they're going to
Jeez.
unveil a new TNT title.
Another new one.
I-
I mean,
I-
how many iterations?
Does that?
I'm making
I
fun.
kind of like that they change it.
I'm making
forever.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm making fun of this WWE Secondary Championships, but I thought for a while that Sammy Guevara was a TNT title. I'm like, oh yeah, Scorpio Sky won it back.
Yeah.
Because they just top potatoed the hell out of that thing. And
Well,
it
that
really
ladder
deserves
match
it.
was interesting. The bump that Sammy took in it.
Well, that whole hot potato was because Cody left and they didn't know what they were going to do.
Well, you should probably figure that out before you start switching your
Yeah.
title every
Yeah.
two
Should have been
weeks.
planned.
Yeah.
Listen, if it's another reason for me to buy a Scorpio Sky action figure with his variant of the title, I'm for it.
Because I know it's going to look sick.
Yeah.
I
Where was
know
the
it.
Scorpio Sky was up at the Target up in Sealands Grove with the tag title. With
Yeah, I
Frank
have that one.
Kazarian. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only. I didn't buy the FTR with the tag team titles. I probably
They
should.
were also
That's
there.
on my list. I have to get. I've slowly become like a fig collector.
I recently, in the process of moving, just found a like box with all of my old stuff. Found a Ravishing Rick Rude and a
Oh.
Ric Flair. Both have the robes too.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah.
I like that they're bringing back those old style action figures. Like they just came out with a Bray Wyatt, a
Yeah.
Flair, a Tonky Tonk,
Like a Hasbro style?
Yeah.
That's cool. I had the Hasbro Rick Rude
oh
with
yeah.
the purple and black tights, and he had it permanently like an arm pose like this. The only moves you could do were a headlock or like a primitive stunner before there was a stunner.
I was
Or the Rude Awakening. He could do the Rude Awakening.
I was on a group chat or a group page on Facebook that like people who do AEW action figures. And I don't know if he's ever going to listen, but I want to say thank you to George Anthony. If anyone ever goes on that group page and he sells you an action figure, he's legit. Because I thought I was going to 100% get scammed because my first time rolling the dice. But he had the AEW shop exclusive Chase Jericho.
Oh, okay.
I don't want all the chases. Like I'm not trying to chase down chases because they're expensive and people want like $200, $300 for them. And most places were selling the Jericho one, and it's him with that glamour shot shirt, with the bandana and the bat. And that it's the only way you can get that is if you got on. They're doing a Kenny Omega one soon,
Are they?
but you have to get on the website, order it, or it's gone.
News-wise, I guess I didn't read too much of this, but I guess there's rumors that his injury is not healing as they hoped it would.
Kenny. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's a work.
Oh yeah.
It could
Speaking
be,
of
yeah.
injuries, is the Orton injury, is that a work or is that real? His back?
I'm not sure.
I think it's a work. I think he's gonna come out. And
Yeah, it might be a thing where he
RKO.
like costs Riddle the title at Money in the Bank,
and
or
then he
something.
goes for Roman next.
He can't go heel though. That wouldn't make sense.
Because he got hurt, broke up the tag team, and now he's getting an immediate title shot. And Randy Orton's like, "That's my title shot.
No, but that's
I've been here longer, Junior."
no, that's the role that Orton was in though. I get that. Like,
Yeah.
I would still see Orton turning on him. You can never count out an Orton heel turn.
Ryan says the new ones are Remco styled.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, the Remco were the old AWA action figures.
okay.
They
Yeah,
would
they are
have
a little bigger.
They would have like they were a little bigger. They would have a solid body and then like a squishy head.
Oh,
It was interesting.
okay. Yeah, they are. They did look a little bigger than the old school ones. But anyway, so I get this action figure from this guy, and he $60, and he shipped it to me, and it came in and it's pristine. So now I have the Jericho Chase. So I have
Nice.
every Jericho variant.
So shout out.
Yeah. So thank you, man. That was super dope. I messaged two other, like Vox being one of them, like, am I getting scammed? And they're like, that's a really good price. I'm like, I'm getting scammed, and it showed up. So huge thank you to George. Yeah, I got most of the Dark Order, and then I went up to Walmart today, all gone. So
Wait, which Walmart?
St. Clair.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. So the only one I'm missing now is Anna and Uno.
Okay.
Yeah, I only need two of those. But I got the next member of the Dark Order to sign my mask. So we're
Yes.
on to 3.
Nice.
I got Colt, I got 5, and I got 10. So I'm going to be able to get 2 more at Legends of Hamburg, which just announced some names.
That's one I've
Oh my
I've
goodness.
seen, but
Yeah.
I will buy the John Silver autograph
Yeah.
section. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love the meat man.
Some big names announced for Legends of Hamburg. Dr. D. David Schultz. Don't go up to him asking if wrestling's fake.
He will slap the shit
He's
out
an
of you.
old man, but he'll still pop. He'll pop you.
Yeah.
He'll knock a tooth out.
You know what he'll say? Tell me you did not just say that.
I don't think Dr. D is going to say
That was a segue.
He said, "Last time I was in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, I was looking for a woman." Yeah, but the bigger news, the five-time WCW champion Booker T. Will be at Legends of
That's
Hammer.
crazy.
And
Queen
Sharmell.
And
the
Queen
Hall
Sharmell.
of Famer, Queen
Yeah.
Sharmell, who we never said a bad thing about being in the Hall of Fame.
I personally
Ever.
didn't care, but if Hillbilly Jim's in, anybody can be in. Well, Queen Sharmell did more for the business than fucking Hillbilly Jim ever did.
Look, don't go messing with a country boy.
I love
don't go-
Brian over here.
Don't go messing with Sharmell.
Yeah.
That's a queen right there.
That's what I said. Royalty.
Did Hillbilly Jim ever beat Jenna Maraska
Exactly.
in a match that is almost porn?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Who else did they announce? Dexter Loomis.
Yes, formerly
Ooh.
Sam Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Acclaimed. That was an earlier announcement.
Yeah.
Newer announcements.
It's very tag team heavy. Rock and Roll Express, the Acclaimed, Dark Order.
You're burying the lead
John
here. You're burying the lead here.
Sorry.
Demolition.
I was getting there. Demolition, you can actually eat breakfast with. So if you want to hang out with Demolition, Coco Beware, and a few other people, you can pay for a ticket and hang out with them early and eat breakfast.
Waffle Mania. Yeah.
Waffle Mania.
Is that why they call it Waffle Mania?
Yeah.
Do you think that's their preferred breakfast, waffles, or do you?
I think it's a play on Waffle House.
Hillbilly Jim
isn't
is
it?
my first wrestling memory. I'm sorry, Ryan.
I think they snack on danger. Oh wait, that was the World War. Never mind.
Yeah.
Also
The
announced. Also the Goon. Yes.
Ooh.
The Goon and the
Yeah.
Repo Man will both be there.
Oh yeah.
And the Shockmaster.
Gonna bring a
Yes.
hockey stick. Get that signed.
The three best gimmicks in wrestling history are all going to be there.
Oh yeah, man, that's so good. Also just announced yesterday, I believe, Ken Anderson, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy, whatever you want to call him, former TNA champion, almost Vince McMahon's son in the storyline.
Money in the Bank holder.
Yeah, money in the bank holder that never cashed it in because he lost it to Edge.
Yep.
A guy who ruined his career with a thing on Nancy Grace or one of those.
Oh.
He was talking about like, I've never done steroids. No, there's no steroids here. And then he got caught with on a list of things where people were buying steroids.
It happens.
It happens.
I mean, Roman Reigns got caught. He's doing pretty all right.
True.
But yeah, just it was such a fun time last
Kind
time.
of like athletes do steroids. No,
Yeah.
stop it.
Wildfire, Tommy Rich, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, going to be there. Fired up about that. Speaking of former NWA champions, the Hands of Stone, Rugged Ronnie Garvin is going to be there.
It's gonna be a crazy event.
But will Miss Atlanta Lively be there? Is the question.
I'm still holding out for one name.
Oh, I don't think he's coming.
You
I
don't
think they
he's
would have
coming?
announced that by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go to the amusement park. You'll find
Yeah,
them.
go to Knoebels during the week.
Yeah, true.
He's the only person I want to
Hang
meet
out
ever.
at the Santa Claus station there at the North Pole and see if he shows up.
Show up every
Yeah.
day with a Mick Foley mask, with a mankind mask.
Just keep a sock in your pants. and
Yeah.
just, like,
Yeah.
I
Think,
feel like you're attracted.
Speaking of legendary or rival of Ronnie Garvin, Greg the Hammer Valentine will be there. And
Valentine Garvin and Tommy Rich.
yes,
There it is.
somebody say something about Fired Up.
All right.
Sergeant Slaughter will be there.
Sergeant Slaughter. I actually did meet Mick Foley this weekend. He was just in the form of a little small child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Mick
Oh, I
Foley,
did see
little
that.
mankind.
Yeah, little mankind.
There was a mini Mankind. It was when WWE had, or WWF at the time, had their brief. They had a brief working agreement with AAA, leading up to the 1997 Royal Rumble. So they would have Cibernetico wrestled a few times, Latin Lover wrestled a few times, Pieroth Jr. But they would have minis. El Torito was one of them, the original El Torito, not the one that was against Hornswoggle. Not that one. There was an El Torito before that. But then they took some people. I think they made El Torito mini Vader, and they had mini Mankind, and then they had Max mini.
Did they have the
smallest
mini
guy.
commentator
No.
table for?
No,
or
they
is that like a later one? Because I know they did that.
That was when they had the second El Torito, which was like Los Matadores.
Oh, okay.
Brian said in the chat, we had to get extra security because Valentine and Garvin will both be there.
Yes.
Gosh,
Well-
I remember that.
And those security guards better have good cardio because it's very hot in that building in the summer.
Very.
But B, it takes Greg Valentine 20 minutes just to get warmed up. So they're gonna have to have some security guards with some stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got someone warming up for 20 minutes, you're in trouble.
All right, well, let's get into our topic today.
Yes, we all have a few lists here. We have. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start?
Let's start backward. Let's start match. We'll go
Okay.
match
Okay.
first. So if you want to play along, these are only for this month. So all
Yes.
these rankings are what we feel who dominated this month. They can be independent or they can be what you see on TV. Any promotion, Impact can be there. New Japan, Strong, anything. So if you have anything to add to the chat, add it now. So right now we're going over what was our favorite matches of the month of May. Did I say March before?
No.
At the beginning of the
Okay.
show,
You were May or March.
confused.
You were-
Dyslexia sometimes kicks in. I will
They have
start.
different letters except for the first one.
Yeah,
and the second one.
I will start. My number one match.
I only have one. I know we're doing a.
I did a
list
few.
here.
I put a few in there.
I only
my
did one
whole
too.
list,
I have an
like,
honorable mention.
yeah, I have like things where it's like a group that kind of I can use.
Yeah.
I'll explain.
So I will say my first match is going to be Kyle O'Reilly versus Ray Phoenix.
That's
that was
my
good.
honorable mention. That is my honorable mention.
That match was fucking awesome.
Okay.
And I'm really a big fan of both of them.
They're excellent.
I can see that.
Kelly.
My match, I'm going to say, was this past Saturday. It was VSK versus Brian Kendrick at PPW.
Fantastic.
It was fantastic. And I picked that one because that was the one I was trying to take pictures of everything, but that match made me stop and it sucked me in. Like I didn't take many pictures because I was so entertained with it.
Yeah.
That has to be
That is
mine.
also on my list as well as VSK and Kendrick's.
Yeah.
I just wish you
It's
could have saw it.
worked
I was
It
backstage.
was excellent.
Yeah.
Zero ring rust from Kendrick's, man. He bounced right back.
Yes.
He's a technician and he's very underrated for his technique. Like people know his like flying background and his
Yeah.
spanky background, but like he can work.
And VSK is just, if he's not on your radar, put him on your
Yep.
radar. 'Cause
Yes.
that dude's amazing. And he's also an awesome human being.
Mhm.
Just if you meet him at a show, just go talk to him. You'll be very happy you did.
I wanted to ask for a picture, but I got too nervous.
Oh, you should have.
Oh, he's so dope. Yeah.
Not only do I have a picture of VSK, but the picture I have with VSK, the photographer of the picture is the legendary Maven. Maven took the picture.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty sick.
Next time VSK is there, get a goddamn picture.
Yeah. And go hug
He's
him.
a sweetheart of a guy.
Brian.
My one match, and it is an indie match, and it's a match that you and I saw personally. It is the final match of who's on your shirt right there? Avery Good, professional wrestler, going the distance, going about a half hour or so with his old tag team partner in the throwbacks, Mr. Touchdown, Mark Angelosetti.
After he probably went 20 minutes with Abby Jane.
Yes. Avery Good is not retiring because he doesn't have anything left in the tank. He has a lot left in the tank, but he wants to take that fuel and put it toward being a good dad. So we all understand that and respect that. But
And he broke the ring his last match.
damn, did they have a good match?
Yes, they
Love
killed
that.
it. That is also on my list. So that's 2 of my list. That's 3 off my list checked off. So I only have 2 more.
So mine is based on like I have 3 matches that I'm gonna bring up that all have a different reason as to why. So the match that happened this past Wednesday, the triple threat between Ricky Starks, Shane Strickland,
Good.
Fantastic.
Very
and
good.
who was
Very
third
good.
in that?
Jungle
Boy.
Yeah,
How
that-
dare you?
Sorry,
How dare you?
And what a
He's-
way to
that's
elevate
the problem with
He
Jungle
needs
Boy.
a-
A little bit forgettable.
he needs a character change very
Yes.
soon.
Jungle Man.
Yeah, Rainforest
He's
fellows.
so fucking good.
Yeah, but no, that match was as far as like ring quality. That's
Mhm.
why I have that there.
They were flippy, but they told a story.
Yeah, they did. Ricky Starks, especially. I love me some Ricky
yeah,
Starks.
yeah.
Ricky Stark's fantastic.
It was a
Um,
bit of a coming out party for Ricky Starks as
Yep.
far as having that big moment in AEW.
I agree. Raquel versus Ronda on SmackDown.
I didn't see this match, but I've heard it was good.
Yeah, so Ronda bumped and made Raquel look like a dominant superstar. It was really good. And that's why I said, like, it's not a match when you see that on the card. It's like, oh, Ronda versus Raquel. Oh, okay, here we
Ronda
go.
does seem to be finding her groove as a babyface.
Yeah, it was really, and Raquel kind of wrestled as a babyface in it too, and made all of her moves look good.
So
That's
my
where
problem
Ronda's
is
good. Like the mutual respect, like her match with Natty in her first run,
Yeah.
that was a really good one. Like they had that whole mutual respect thing going.
Ronda's first year in the business was fantastic. She did really, really well.
Well, are you talking about like the stare down at WrestleMania with
No,
The
no,
Rock? Or,
no,
like
her
full
year
time?
No, her
wrestling.
first full-time year was
Mania
really
34 to 35.
was really
Gotcha.
good. This year, her second time back, I think is still good. Like people shit on the Charlotte matches, but I still thought
I wasn't a fan of the one at Mania.
Yeah, I thought they were both good. They weren't better than Bianca's matches, but they were both good. Like I didn't think they were terrible.
No, they felt like fights. They didn't feel like worked wrestling matches. And because it's Charlotte in there.
Yeah.
Like both of them.
Wrestling matches.
Same here.
If I wanted
Same
to
here.
watch fights, I would watch MMA.
Yeah.
But that's what Ronda brings to the table.
Yeah.
And it's kind of similar to Brock. That's what Brock.
I'm fine with that too. I like Bloodsport. So that's what Bloodsport is, worked MMA.
And that's why I still appreciate Shayna Baszler's run in Elimination Chamber more than any other Elimination Chamber match.
I just appreciate Shayna Baszler. She is
I want
criminally
more from her.
underused.
I
Me
love
too.
her so much.
The only
She
other
was formerly the Queen of Spades, right?
Yep,
still is.
Is that what they called her?
Yeah.
The only other match would be Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin for the sole fact that they did what they should do in that match. You see those
Almost
two guys. Yeah, exactly. When you think of those two in a match together, it did exactly what it's supposed to.
Yeah, no, I get it. Not my flavor of wrestling.
Same here.
When he
Not
jumped off
my
that ladder,
flavor
I was
of
like, "You
wrestling.
fucking idiot."
Yeah, heart stopping. But that's what when you think of those two, that's what they're gonna.
I guess he
Right.
can get away with it because he's like a fucking 112 pounds. But
yeah,
like,
easy to catch.
No,
I bet.
he's not gonna get away with it. He's gonna be feeling it in 10 years.
Yeah,
that's my only
Yeah.
fear for the guy. It's just, it's only a matter of time before we see him get seriously hurt.
Some people like to live fast, and
Jesus.
He is one. He's
Yeah.
often said that. So he is one of those that like to live
So you
fast.
got your three.
I like to live
Yep.
very slow.
So the other two, I'll start from backwards to forward. Is going to be Swan going back to with you on PPW. Rich Swan versus Action Andretti.
That was good from what I saw of it. But I
Okay,
was talking to
gotta
a lot
get
of people.
Swan.
yeah.
If you do not know who Action Andretti is, search him, find him,
Yes.
seek him out, because that kid is going to be a fucking megastar. He is so good, so good. Such a big fan of him, and him and Rich Swan fucking killed it. It was two baby faces kind of going in, and it was the first time really Action played a baby face here,
okay,
where they kind of were the baby face, and you're like, well, how do you do a two baby face match? And they did it.
yeah,
And they had to follow, or no, VSK and Kendricks had to follow this after so it was this match, intermission,
no,
VSK
No, this match was after intermission, I believe.
that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
it was
VSK and Kendrick came first, and there was an intermission, then this match.
Yeah.
is that how it went?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the match
Yes.
before VSK and Kendrick was our Zandy and Cole Cabana.
Yeah, you're
against,
right. So
Fox
they
and
had to
Fury,
follow this amazing VSK Kendrick match.
which was also a babyface match.
Yes, and I thought they did, and they did very well doing so. Because everyone's
Nice.
like, "How do you follow that? Like, how do you follow that?"
well, this is how.
Yeah, and
Good.
they did, and they set a very high bar. And that card also had a triple threat between Griffin McCoy, the Neon Ninja Facade, and fucking Chris Bay.
Yeah,
And Sean Maluta was a 4-way.
Oh, it was a 4-way. I'm sorry, very sorry. I didn't do commentary in that match, so
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, so it had an
former
ins-
Cruiserweight Classic Sean Maluta.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
So it had a crazy good 4-way.
yeah, Chris
on
Bay.
that card, too.
I've been following his career for a minute.
Yeah.
How is he in live?
He's super dope. I didn't get
Yeah.
to see too much of his match. I was too busy having a heat stroke. But he's super nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that kind of is a downer for PPW, not a downer because I'm having my own experience and doing my own thing, and I love spending time with Tom Mitchell and Coach U. Usually, Coach U was with you a lot in commentary in this
Yes, he
last
was.
show, but I don't get to see a lot of the matches with PPW just because I'm doing production stuff backstage. But it's a rewarding thing to do too, and it's air conditioned, which is nice on
Oh.
shows.
I
like
had
that.
to go visit him a few
Yeah.
times.
No complaints there.
Yeah.
AC in a hot day.
Yeah.
Keep and I always like to give these little teasers. Keep an eye out, PPW fans, for a promo by Big Damo. That's your little tease. There's going to be a promo with Big Damo that you don't want to miss when you order the PPW show on Fight TV.
Yeah, there it is. And like I said, that's how you watch this. If you head over, or you can check out PPW on WYLN. I'm not sure what matches will air there.
I
Maybe
think
in the future they will show
split it
there.
up. They
Yeah.
split it up about an hour because my dad and mom start watching it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They listen to me on commentary.
Yes.
Sorry for that. And then also, you can check them out on YouTube. PPW Entertainment on YouTube.
I don't think they put the shows up there anymore because they're on Fight. And
Yeah.
Oh, really? Sometimes they put stuff on Facebook, so you can follow them on Facebook, and then just subscribe and follow them on Fight TV. You can pay for the cards and check it out. My last match is going to be once again another guy I said at the top of my list. It's going to be Kyle O'Reilly. Him and Samoa Joe.
I didn't see
All
the
right.
match.
Loved it. Yeah, I loved it so much. I know the thing is now is like, well, how do you do Joe versus Cole if it happens? Because there's one's not big and the other one is huge. Kyle O'Reilly just showed you how you do it.
Yeah.
It's I don't buy into that big guy,
Look,
little guy, and it can't
Samoa
be done.
Joe was the Ring of Honor champion for almost 2 years, And Ring of Honor champion was Ring of Honor was never a territory known for its big guys.
Yeah.
So Samoa Joe knows how to wrestle smaller guys.
Yep.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
He was
Dude,
the X Division champion.
Well,
Like,
even when he won the U.S. title, he was working with Mysterio.
Samoa Joe is sometimes at his best when he's working with a smaller guy and can play off his athleticism a bit.
All right, well, let's get into Angle segment. And if you're in the chat, please put up your favorite match this month. Angle, or if you're watching later on back, you can comment. Or,
If it's
or
okay,
listen.
I'm going to give you mine and then run to the bathroom.
Go
Really
ahead.
quick.
So this is going to be a segment, promo, or Angle.
Yeah, and mine, and like I said, we're going to introduce some Judaism into this. Was the Dark Side of the Ring parody from AEW Dynamite, featuring notable Jewish wrestler Barry Horowitz, which was just note perfect, and so good.
This was mine, but the whole thing was between the video package.
I'm going to step out real quick. I'll be back as soon as I can.
The contract signing, I just thought was great. MJF just knows how to work that microphone. He just knows how to get under people's skin. He makes me laugh personally. I just love the guy.
Well, he's also hit me in a spot that I didn't expect to. That promo that he cut on Punk. I know that's not May, but
yes, where he was calling him like being bullied and stuff. It did hit me too. I mean, the guy knows how to push the button.
Yeah.
He does.
He knows how to play the emotions. He's a great character.
a lot of attention to detail with him.
That is also my number one, is the Dark Side of the Ring
Yes.
Angle.
Yeah.
I'll let you go next, Kelly.
That was mine too. Was
Do you
the
have any honorable mention?
honorable mention? Maybe the Jericho Appreciation Society with Eddie Kingston, when Eddie Kingston got right up into his face and said, do you know what you mean about putting a hit out on me?
Oh, where he's leaning back in the chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
That might have been it.
So that's on my list as
honorable.
well, is the professional wrestlers versus sports entertainers.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
I think this entire month of that rivalry has been a lot of fun.
that's definitely up there. For
Great
me.
angle.
And the fireballs going back
I'm
to
a wizard,
like USWA, some Jerry Lawler stuff there. Yeah, no disagreement there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have one on the list that we haven't talked about?
No, honestly, this was the one that I'm struggling with the most, because when it comes to segments, I catch a lot of Raw segments, but when it comes to AEW, and I was talking about this prior, I catch a lot of the matches because it's majority matches on their show. So
It's not too much fluff, I don't think.
but the JAS stuff has been
Great.
phenomenal. And I know you don't like Cody's promos, but man, his stuff like post match when he got whipped by Seth. I don't know. He loves being. He's that good old American. He's that good old American boy. He's George Washington for real.
Do you think the lashings that he took from MJF looked ridiculous now in retrospect after Wardlow takes them?
No, because I think the way Wardlow takes him is how he's supposed to.
Right.
To me, he's booked like Batista. Like he's an animal. He is this.
Right. He's this big dude that can handle himself. Like when he was getting whipped and he was laughing at it, that made him more of the monster. I think more of the big guy, more of the giant. Like
Cody had his wife
me.
come down to hold his hand. It was ridiculous.
All I have to say is you get whipped by a belt. Like it takes a Wardlow character to pull that off.
Mhm.
A normal person like
No.
Cody Rhodes, that good old American boy. Yeah. Although if anyone, do you think Dusty ever whipped him with a belt?
Absolutely.
Maybe Cody should have taken that a little better.
Yeah.
He's an American boy. He's the American nightmare.
Yeah.
He should be able to take that.
It's a nightmare when your wife comes out and holds your hand while you're getting hit with a belt. That's
but that guy also Cody
That
knows,
was that one moment of I need my wife's strength. I'd
have been like, get the fuck out of here, making me look more like a bitch.
I need to help.
No, but that's the
strong
card
lady behind the man.
That's the card he
I'm
plays
getting
though.
beat up, the last thing I want is my wife to come down and fucking cry for me.
Well,
I don't want that. Get away from me.
I don't think she cried. Did she? I don't remember her crying. I remember holding holding her hand or her holding his hand and saying, "No, you can do this."
I think that's a very important thing to note with Cody's character, because since he's been back in WWE, look, Asuka has main evented 4 times in a row.
Hmm.
The women's, they've opened the show and have been the first hour of the show on SmackDown before. Like they really are paying attention to women's wrestling. But then the Naomi thing happened and Sasha Banks, and it's like, well, never mind. I don't know.
The Asuka thing, I just seen her this week, and I'm like, what did they do to Asuka? They made her like this silly, funny.
She's always been that. She was even that.
No, that's her.
Was that her? I don't remember that being her in NXT, which she would just take the mask off and be a little bit more serious. This is just
her YouTube especially, like, and she's older. Like she's kind of got that like mom.
Even before when she got the belt given to her by Becky, she did the whole thing where she ran around and she speaks in crazy Japanese and no one knows what she's saying and she's just off the wall. That's kind of her thing now.
She's speaking. she's been cutting more like promo, like English promos
Yeah,
too.
I mean she can, but that was her whole thing of being a goofball for a while. But she's still like she's a goofball, but she's still someone that like she'll kill you.
she's
Oh,
an
yeah.
entity,
Yeah.
like for real.
Yeah, and anytime a poison mist is used in professional wrestling, I'm on for it. That's my
Poison mist, fireballs.
I fucking love fireball, not so much. Poison mist.
I like the fireball. No, I'm a
love Poison
wizard.
Mist.
I'm not crazy about Jericho right now. I gotta be honest.
I'm so like he was like my first favorite. I understand I could like remove myself from that, but there's so much that I still follow.
I have that soft spot for Randy Savage, so I'm with you there.
Okay.
And then my last one here for promo and segment, I will kind of go back to one of our matches with Avery Good. Avery Good's segment to start the show at the LAVC, where Bryce comes down and brings all the Chikara guys and brings all of his history out and hands him an award saying thank you so much for your years of service. And he pretty much says, where the fuck was this whole career? Where were you guys? You guys only come when I'm leaving. Where was this for the last 15 years of my career? Like, screw all of you.
And you know what? That's kind of like a very current thing. People like wanting their flowers.
Yeah.
He's got every right to be like that.
Yeah,
too.
he's like, this is the death of my dream. Don't celebrate it.
Yeah.
basically.
And it was a
That's
great
wonderful.
promo. It
That's
was so good.
wonderful.
And he spit on the plaque and he threw it away. And then Bryce kind of took the mic again and said, like, dude, you're a master. Like, you got over all these characters, and you got over a breakfast character, you got over a bovine character, you took an old school baseball player. And he's like, yeah. And what did that get me when you got your did you go to AEW and get me signed?
Damn.
Yeah, it was
bringing the heat.
It was awesome.
And it feels real too. Everything he's saying there makes sense.
It was sick. It was hard because I'm trying to be in the crowd and sell it as if what we're seeing and not cheer it. But I'm also like, this is so good. You know what I mean? But it was fantastic. And it definitely was number 2 on my list for the coolest segment I've seen this month.
Nice.
Behind the dark side. All right. We are at promotions.
Honorable mention, even though they only did one show. LVAC. We've been talking a lot
stole
about
it off
this.
me. Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about
They've had a bunch of shows, but they did one this month.
One this month. Yeah. They're going to be doing one in June, 2 in June at the Mahoning Drive-In. They're going to do wrestling until the sun goes down. And then when the sun goes down, there's a double feature. The first night is The Wrestler and a mystery movie.
Ooh.
I'll be there both nights.
Okay.
The second night is going to be it's going to be The Running Man and
the Scorpion King.
The Scorpion King.
What nights are these?
June 4th and 5th. It's a Friday and a Saturday.
Okay.
At the Mahoney Drive. So we'll have wrestling both nights.
Well, no, I think the 3rd is a Friday because there's a
think it's the
wrestling
third
show.
night.
It's the
that I'm
3rd and
going.
4th then.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh
It's
man,
a
I
Friday,
don't know if I'll
Saturday.
be able to make either of those.
Why?
Well, Friday I'm going to a wrestling show in Connecticut. I have the exact thing. I'll shout that out.
Connecticut's getting hot for wrestling shows.
Yeah.
Huh?
Shout out MIT. I'll be seeing him wrestle. He's one of the guys that helped me get to the sanctuary.
Yeah.
And then Saturday training.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, June 3rd, June 4th. Are the
Yeah, we'll definitely be there. All right. So you have a promotion? What promotion this month?
I am a WWE guy. I'll say that with my chest. I watch it the most. It's the thing that, like, routine wise, I'm able to watch it and I'm able to digest it. And since Raw's a 3-hour
You
show,
have a cast iron stomach.
Yeah.
you know
a
it.
goat stomach. Yeah.
You know it. Hey, I eat a lot. I think again, since Cody has been there, they have been firing on all cylinders. I think like the parts of their shows that need to, I don't know. I just feel like it's a well-oiled machine, except for like that Sasha and Naomi thing that can't happen. But as far as like their pay-per-views, they're getting the reactions that they're supposed to. Like Roman is a top star that they haven't had since John Cena. People have been clamoring for that kind of star.
I seen a really cool Roman Reigns thing on TikTok
With the kid? Oh, it was adorable.
So this little kid's in the front row, and Roman comes out, and he's just mean mugging Roman. And Roman's like walking around the outside of the ring, and he just kind of looks over him, and then looks back at the kid and gives the same look to him. And like him and the kid never breaks. He just keeps mean mugging Roman, and Roman's doing it back to him, and everyone's laughing about it. And then Roman's in the ring, and he has like a break spot, and he's like laying on the mat, and he just looks up to the ropes and sees a kid, and then mean mugs him again. It was a dope thing, yeah.
But as far as like for watching WWE product as long as I have and as consistently as I have, it's got matches that I actually care about.
Mhm.
Like, and I think there's storylines that I actually care about. And they're doing things with people who might not like be in a position right now. Like the Rhea and Damian Priest thing. They might just be in a tag team right now, just like kind of fawdling over until, oh, okay, they're over again. Let's put them in the title picture. No, they actually are an active part with different character development. And it makes sense for both of their characters to be aligned with Edge, especially Rhea being a nightmare. So just like the way that things are executed right now, I think they're doing a really good job.
Okay. So you're going just Raw and SmackDown WWE in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, well, no, NXT 2.0 as well, because we were talking about that prior. I think it's entertaining as hell. I'll say.
And it's entertaining in the same way that watching a car wreck is entertaining, I think.
I disagree. So I've said for a while, like I don't know, people said they hate it.
I've told you for weeks now, you will like it.
You would like it.
Yeah.
You like some cornball stuff, and it does get more cornball
so
than
here's the
NXT
thing.
2.0.
It's more Bam Bam and Luda.
NXT and its black and gold, it got out of the basement, in my opinion.
Mhm.
NXT black and gold was catering towards the indie audience. And obviously NXT 2.0 is more WWE style. And I think that's what it deserves to be. It's grown up. Where for 5 years they put on.
It's grown up to you, though. It's backwards for
of,
other people.
Of all
I
the
see.
adjectives I would ever use to describe NXT 2.0, grown up is not one of them.
Well, no, all right. So maybe not grown up, but grown
Juvenile.
out. Not
Yeah.
grown up.
Are becoming similar to the WWE product and
Well,
what
yeah.
they're trying to
See, I
push
think
and train into people.
When I think of refined product, I think of the woman that wrestles in her pajamas and falls asleep all the time. That's what I think.
I think
of.
she's super entertaining. Once again, so it's not a secret on the show. I love gimmicks.
Yep, me too.
I love character
like
development
gimmicks too, but
I love gimmicks, and that's
gimmick-
all 2.0 is.
gimmicks are the seasoning, not the entree.
Right.
Well, no, I love people who get a reaction. That's what like wrestling to me is about. It's about moments. It's about making
Yeah.
that.
Well, anybody can
people
get a reaction when you're
remember
WWE and you pipe the reaction in.
That's
Anybody
right.
can get the
So
reaction.
I will say this. Here's what I enjoyed about 2.0. I had to completely remove that what I was watching was black and gold NXT.
Yeah.
I had to erase that from my brain because black and gold NXT was beautiful.
Yeah.
It had a little bit of everything, but it
Yep.
mostly took itself seriously for the most part.
Mhm.
Until towards
I
the end, it
disagree.
got a little crazy.
It was the closest thing WWE has ever done to a wrestling show.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's the difference. It was more pro wrestling oriented, and
Yes.
clearly they let AEW do that.
and the NXT when I got into NXT towards the black and gold era and that end era is when pretty much everybody that was on NXT, they were good enough to be on the main roster. They just weren't. They just kind of
Yeah.
stayed there and they built
And that
brand.
was fine because look what happened to people from NXT when they got to the main roster.
Exactly. And that's kind of what made you root for them more being on NXT. This 2.0 version is, to me, and I know people say that this term has been used for ROH, and I kind of I agree but disagree, because even these promotions took themselves seriously at times where they still had their corniness, but it was still like treat it in a different level. 2.0 doesn't treat itself anything more than, I think it's like a super indie. Like a lot of times in the indie scene.
Oh no, it's not a super indie. The black
Yeah, I
and gold
disagree.
NXT was a super indie.
No, when
I
I
agree
when
with
I
that.
say about super indie is the people that you're watching on 2.0, some of them are not TV ready. Some of them are still trying
Most
to work.
of them are not TV ready.
So yeah, some of them are still trying to figure out their character. They're not.
Somebody took a wrestling school and put it on the USA Network.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like the fact that I could probably look back in 5 or 10 years and be like, I remember seeing them. To me,
And
it's like going to an independent show and being like, I seen fucking Axel Andretti at a
Yeah.
PPW show, and now
Because-
he's huge.
Because if they're able to get the reactions from their promos, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if the in-ring quality is there yet. If they're getting people to care about the matches,
Different quality matters.
it
Yes.
does. But
and they're
but if
getting
they-
over to the
That
crowd.
goes back
and-
to the clip last week we were talking about Nikita Lyons
And
and
last
whoever
legend, yeah.
and
I don't
the
think
other
that was.
girl.
Like,
I watched
if-
that match. I don't think that was on Nikita Lyons.
If that, I don't care who was on. If that
Yeah.
would have happened
Right.
on an indie show,
it happens all the time in any shows.
Yeah, and they were like, you go to that person, and be like, look, you gotta work a little harder.
You got it. Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I've seen Cody make the same botches week after week. That
I have
people,
never seen Cody Rhodes do anything remotely as embarrassing as that rope running.
not the rope running thing, but he has botched things and fuck
Yeah,
things.
people
up.
are human. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm saying is these people that are on 2.0 are still learning.
Yeah,
It's not their
it's
fault they're on TV,
yes.
but if they're on TV, I'm
That
enjoying the
is-
fact of watching
That is
them
my
grow.
point. They are doing them a disservice
That's right.
by showing off their growing pains.
Right.
They are
One of the
doing these
biggest-
people on that
one of the
show a
biggest
Instead of
watch
just
things-
keeping them strong and showing them more of their stronger points and not their weaker points. That was a weak
One of the
point.
most
Should have been
watched
Edge.
things at NXT when people were watching the behind the scenes of people training and getting better. I understand, like with 2.0 for me, like I said, I completely disassociate it with what it was. And I like the fact that I'm watching people grow. I'm watching people figure things out. And what they're doing well, even though they're not amazing in the ring or they're figuring out, they are learning, they are getting crowd reactions. And that crowd is a 2.0 crowd where they're stationed
It's
there.
a niche crowd,
And that crowd is buying into those characters. That
WWE
crowd is
also sweetens their crowds, so you can't really go by crowd reaction.
I
WWE
think
pipes it in.
it would hurt very hard if they traveled again.
That's
It's
one
like
of the
when
most
NXT
annoying
stayed at what was it, for Sal or whatever it was, wholesale, and that crowd was invested in those characters. Like when Velveteen Dream would walk by and a guy would ooh, like,
well, and it's a lot of the same people. They're at the Performance Center, but the Performance Center is not that far from Full Sail. It's like 6 miles away.
Yeah. So I do like that the crowds. I think the crowd in the venue looks dope. I think it's a cool look to it.
It's too bright.
I don't like the entrance thing with the
it's
big
too bright.
color
Well,
splash.
no, it's the complete opposite of being in the basement, and that's what I feel like Black and Gold NXT was. It was in the basement.
Yeah.
These wrestlers that were in the NXT Black and Gold, Johnny Gargano, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Pete Dunne, Tommaso Ciampa. Who are these
NXT
people?
was good.
Who are
NXT
these
was so
people?
good.
They're wrestlers. That's not something that's going to sell in WWE. So if you want to go be a pro wrestler, go to AEW. But that's not going to sell. That's not going to get people in seats, and it doesn't develop anything new. You're just continuously
Hold on.
you're just piggybacking off of stories that have already been made.
That's not going to sell, but yet AEW's Forbidden Doors tickets are like over $1,000.
It's gonna sell.
It's gonna
that
sell.
will. That will.
Wrestling
Because the real
sells.
reason the Black and Gold thing died is because AEW killed it.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
They lost the war.
WWE killed it. They
No,
felt-
AEW killed it.
AEW killed.
WWE could have kept that going.
Yeah.
But even before
Vince-
AEW started, they were bringing people up that were AEW stars and burying them. And then
Vince-
people kept saying,
Vince-
why do I watch this product and invest in these characters to move up and become jokes?
What happened was they lost the war, and Vince doesn't tolerate failure,
pulled the
so he
plug.
blew it up.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Well, if they don't blow it up, I still think they're fine.
No, I think they grew. That's the perspective I
Well,
have.
So you think they blew it up and they pushed it right down to the foundation? And,
I don't think they blew it up. I think they used.
growing better.
I would say they blew it
no,
up.
they absolutely blew it up.
So I think I would agree that they blew it up. Vince has said it's done. I don't care, and walked away from it. And whoever's in charge of it now,
I don't see how you could say they blew it up when the match quality of like their pay-per-view matches are the same quality.
It's not.
Or have
It's similar.
Carmelo Hayes matches? Are you kidding me?
I didn't see
anything he does is gold for real.
Yeah,
Like,
but we're talking top to bottom. I didn't watch a top to bottom pay per view there.
Yeah.
But what I will say is,
I did,
I-
and it's their war games. Ooh, the war games pay per view. The first 2.0 pay per view was not good. It
Growing
was not-
pains.
It was not good.
well, the first two and the first
the one
you
before-
would say is the first two at 2.0. I didn't watch at that time.
Yeah, the one
That was
before-
kind of like pushing out the old, and now
Yeah.
I would say now they're more settled in what they're trying
Yeah,
to do.
the one before
Yeah.
Mania was solid, and yeah, like Carmelo Hayes would have fit right in the old NXT.
Yeah.
He would have fit like a glove. He was there.
well, honestly, I think he would have fit in better than anyone else there because again, he has that presentation behind him, other than just being a pro wrestler.
It's he's not a gimmick. He's not. There's people with characters and there's gimmicks.
Well, yeah, there's
Like-
a full presentation behind Carmelo
Yeah.
Hayes with Trick Williams.
Carmelo
as well.
Hayes is a character. Tony D'Angelo was a gimmick.
I see.
I'm from Buffalo, but I sound like I'm from Staten Island, but I don't because I'm from Buffalo.
I think it's hilarious.
He's not.
He's the
It's-
Don.
Yeah. So what I would say is it's remove the fact. Yes, it's not their fault they're on TV. It's not that there's a product there, but I think whoever's in charge or whoever's doing the things and given what they have and the ability of the talent they have,
Mhm.
I think they're doing a good job.
I
Here,
think
here was my thing. When your big show ending angle for your show post WrestleMania, when your big star, who is a star, he is a guy. Braun Breaker is a star. Braun Breaker will be main eventing pay-per-views for 15 years.
I don't think there's a guarantee on that.
When you're a who do you think is going to main event more pay-per-views in their career? Braun Breaker or Carmelo Hayes?
Oh,
Braun Breaker.
That's a great
Answer the question, sir.
That's a great question.
I will say this: I did not expect Braun Breaker's voice.
I will give you Braun
So-
Breaker minus 10. Braun Breaker will main event 10 more pay-per-views than Carmelo Hayes.
I wouldn't
to
take that.
do that-
So I would.
And
disagree
to
with
do that, he'll have to main event 11 pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker's he's
He's
dope.
got the size for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't.
He
know-
sells really well too.
I just don't know about longevity yet.
Yeah, well, yes, barring him being in a car accident.
I
Not that.
think-
I'm
I
saying
think-
as a character, as his presentation, I don't know how long people are going to be like, oh, Braun
What's-
Breaker.
what's gonna
woohoo."
come down
WWE
to-
will ride things till the wheels fall off.
Braun Strowman's gone.
Braun Strowman is not Braun Breaker.
I agree
Here's
with that.
here's where
Certain
the only
people
way we're
have
going to have that
it.
answered is when he's clearly the bright spot on 2.0. What his transition from 2.0 to main roster is going to be is how we see what they treat.
Yeah, and what I was getting at is, so he's your champion, he's your centerpiece, and when he beats Dolph Ziggler, get the title back, and your big show ending angle is I've kidnapped your father and I have him in a
Yeah.
comedically large birdcage straight from the Adam West Batman show. I'm like, okay, this show
See-
has nothing for me anymore.
No, I
And
agree.
haven't-
I agree.
And
with
I
that.
why
haven't watched it since.
I could not watch a show like that. That's like nails on a chalkboard. Like I'm trying to, I'm doing the
But-
best
but
I can to
it's-
watch Raw on a
it's
Monday night. but it's like,
it's forcing Braun into something that he's probably not good at yet, and forcing him to be like, hey, so we know you got this in ring, we know you have the look, let's try to put you in something goofy and see if you could put
Well,
it over.
if your argument is if you want to succeed in WWE, you have to learn how to do bad comedy, you're actually correct on that.
Are you-
Yes. You're 100%
there is a
correct.
point
And
there.
it's happened with a lot of careers.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of guys who have been handed a lot worse and have made it work.
Yeah.
Like the name Dolph Ziggler. I was just listening to Freddie Prinze Jr.'s podcast, and he talked about like he was in the creative process for the name of Dolph Ziggler. Who the hell wants to be named Dolph Ziggler? Especially an American rock star. He sounds like a German dweeb. That's that name.
Sound like a German Nazi soldier.
Yeah, and he still got it over.
Oh, like Gunther Stark.
Gunther,
Yeah.
Gunther Stark.
What I will say is, just from watching 2 shows, I definitely know it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I personally,
I agree with
personally
that.
listen, and I know they're not TV ready, but I thought it was fun to watch. Some bright spots for me. I thought, I don't remember the 2 names. You have to help me out. That's
Tiffany Stratton.
Stratton.
She
Yeah.
will do okay. I like a lot of the people, because now their whole thing is we don't want wrestlers, we want athletes that we can teach how to wrestle.
Yeah.
She's a gymnast and she's getting there. Like there are people that have potential. I
And
think
she wrestled this girl who was
I think
like
the
a cowgirl gimmick. I thought was pretty
I
entertaining.
think Fallon Henley, I think that
Yeah.
might be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like
I
there
thought it
are,
was a good match.
there are certainly people in NXT with potential. I think the Creed brothers have a lot of potential.
Like if I
Same
walked
here.
into a building like this, Sanctuary. If I walked into a Sanctuary, our 2.0's arena, and I was like, "This is where you're working," then I'd be like, "This is fucking dope."
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I'm into that.
It's an intense.
It's almost like
atmosphere.
a closed TV circuit
It is.
place.
Well, it's like the original Raw.
Yeah.
Even the way that Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett do broadcasting, like they'll stand in front
Like-
of the
yeah,
ring.
like
NXT is basically what studio wrestling would be if it still existed.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm into it. I like it.
it's very camp, and I understand people don't necessarily like camp. There's a difference there with sports entertainment and pro
Yeah,
wrestling.
that's 100%
I'm
sports
fine
entertainment.
with camp. I'm fine with comedy. I love Chikara. Chikara was so comedy, but
Yeah.
here's the thing: it's got to be good, and I don't think it's
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
I don't like it.
It's kind of like SNL's level of
Yeah,
humor now.
Yeah,
yeah.
It would
That's exactly
it would
how I
benefit
feel.
them.
I
To
don't
put-
like SNL. I like the kids in the hall.
Yeah.
I want the kids in the hall.
It would benefit them every now and then to bring down a name to help them out.
Well, they've tried that.
They're doing that now. The War
It
Raiders,
would have benefited them. They wouldn't have
Natalia.
fired all the good wrestlers.
That too.
Yeah.
I'm not-
And
listen,
the closest thing I've heard of what NXT is it's glow, but it has guys too.
yes.
It's shitty wrestling with bad gimmicks. That's NXT 2.0.
Well, the
Yeah,
gimmick thing is
I'm in-
subjective.
I'm into
yeah.
bad gimmicks, so I
Yeah.
can't disagree there.
Hey, it's to each their own. Everybody
Yeah.
has their own
Exactly.
little thing.
Yeah, no, it's not my flavor of wrestling.
No.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I watched 2 episodes of it. I'll probably keep turning in to see until they sway me away.
Have you watched any of the takeovers?
No.
There are some good takeovers.
I started on last week's episode with the bracket.
Their last takeover, I think, was Takeover Brooklyn when I watched it. That was how
Well, the
many
last
years
one
ago?
was, the last one was Stand and Deliver. It was a decent
Is
show.
that the Mania weekend one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch weekly NXT. I just waited for takeovers,
Yeah.
and I thought takeovers were fantastic.
That's right. With WWE as a whole, I'm just watching the big shows. And I didn't even watch the last pay-per-view. I didn't watch Backlash. I was like, nah, there's nothing I really want to see here.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, everything you've seen in WrestleMania, we're gonna do again. It was kind of a throwaway, but it was. I mean, some of the matches were cool. Match
Well, it's
quality
the
is still there.
continuation of a lot of stories, like
Yeah,
the Edge and Styles one. There was a new member involved. The Cody and Seth one doesn't necessarily make sense because now that's at 2-0.
Yeah, WWE just for me feels like a lot of going through the motions.
It does.
We're going through the motions.
Well, they book from as soon as WrestleMania is over. They book from WrestleMania backwards,
Not
which is
really.
very
They
difficult.
say they do, but they're rebooking the show the night of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole fact that they have a pay-per-view that's named WrestleMania and it's a Backlash, or like that's a joke.
No,
Like,
but that's how Backlash has always been.
I know, but
no,
when
they
you
just
start,
recently started calling it WrestleMania.
When you-
No, but I mean the premise of the show was always the backlash of WrestleMania.
yeah, but the whole purpose of the night after, like everyone always said, the night after WrestleMania is always the coolest night because it's like a reset and you're getting new things.
Well, it is, but the pay-per-view is still a recap.
And then nothing ever changed because then the next pay per view you're just running everything back.
I really hate to steal a Jim Cornette line, but what Backlash generally is lazy booking.
Yeah.
Lazy booking.
How about your Tony? We keep going on.
2.0 for me was the other one. The other one I had was PPW for this week.
AEW is mine.
Yeah, and AEW is mine.
So
as well.
yeah,
There-
AEW and
PPW
I was-
obviously, Outbreak obviously.
Yeah, I was
their
just
shows
gonna
in April, but yeah.
say
Yeah.
AEW and my indie is going to be Outbreak because I had such a good time at Outbreak the last time we went.
Was that May though?
Oh shit, that's April. That
Yeah.
was April 30th. So
Yeah.
it counts.
It's April.
It was a fun time.
It was a
It was
fun time.
fun
It was a
time.
fun show.
But then
Okay.
again, if it would have been for our April show, if we would have done one, it would have been before April 30th. So you got to kind of count that end. Like, if we're going through June, we're not going to count Double or Nothing because
I see what you're saying there.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's since that last. Like, this is kind of the official end of May for us. So anything after this, including Double or Nothing, is technically our June.
Well, and
Touche.
I was gonna bring up Dax versus Cash because I believe that was April 27th, but like that's
Yeah.
not the month of May. But that
Well,
match
we
was-
did have a show on the 28th. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I should have put
fair.
my matches. Adam Cole beating Dax at the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh.
Well, now we figured out why he likes NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
Sean runs.
Yeah.
So what's next
Yeah,
on our
Mr.
list?
Lost his smile is running this
Wait,
way.
I
Actually,
was-
on a very unrelated note, I was watching Impact, I think Bound for Glory 04, and Shawn Michaels' cousin, Michael Shane,
Mhm.
was wrestling in a tag team with Kaz. Was not expecting that. I don't.
Yeah. Michael Shane was an X Division champion. He was a regular for quite a while. He was trained at Michael's. Well, it's Rudy Boy Gonzalez did most of the training, but it was the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy, Texas Wrestling Academy. Brian Kendrick was there.
Kendrick came from there.
Brian Danielson came from there. Paul London came from there.
Didn't Morrison?
No, Morrison came from Tough Enough.
I thought Morrison trained there though for a little bit.
Don't think so.
No.
I could be wrong, but he was a guy that was kind of brought through the WWE system. He was a Tough Enough winner.
yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone.
He's
2.0. I
my
was gonna say,
second favorite.
I
Tough
like
Enough winner.
the transition of watching people grow, and I think that's why I scratched that itch too.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
It's
go.
fine. Like, people like to watch minor league
Yeah.
baseball. I like watching. We had fun in the minor league hockey game.
Yeah.
Like, go for it.
Now,
Fucking
hey.
love it.
I love the minors because not NXT, but I love the minor league stuff
I'm
because
kinda-
it's
Well,
cheaper and
Velveteen
it's
Dream
fun.
loved the minors.
Oh, wow, wowzer. Anyway, I
That's a
will.
singer.
Like, I'm fine with that. If I accept that show for what it is, like
Just to clarify, Brian's not fine with Velveteen Dream. Like
No,
in the
I was
minor-
confused there for a
Brian
second.
likes.
I'm not fine with that.
that.
Don't clip that part.
Right now, for me, I think my wrestling taste has gone to almost like people who don't like professional and they like college
Mhm.
because you see like the passion and the love for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And AEW kind of falls in that because I think that a lot of it is people that are there now are rejuvenating
Yeah.
their love for the business. You know what I mean?
But what I was gonna say is, like,
Your fans are too. Like your crowds are definitely, I think, better, louder, and they're not. Do you think they're sweetened? I don't think they were sweetened during that cage match last night.
AEW. No,
Ken.
I don't
well,
think
listen,
AEW is doing. If
and if you-
AEW is doing sweetening, it's very light.
If you
Very
don't like AEW, you're clearly a bot. You're not real.
Like,
Oh yeah, no, like
I can get down with that.
I
you
don't
can go
watch
to
any-
Raw. You can watch Raw, and there's
That's
like
what
huge
Tony-
chance,
that's
and
what Tony
nobody's.
Khan said.
Yeah,
If you say something negative online about AEW, you're not a real person. You're
that's
a bot.
right.
Yeah.
but you can watch Raw.
Fuck those bots.
You can watch Raw, and you can. The crowd's going nuts, but nobody's mouth is moving. Nobody's hands are
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, I will say that the their AEW is definitely not perfect. There's a lot of stuff
Oh,
on
no,
TV that I'm
they're
like,
flawed.
please
No.
stop this. Doing
Especially
flawed.
like timing wise, that like you could tell like WWE is usually like a well-oiled like this is what you have, this is your spot, and commentary does a really good job of transitioning. Like
Or
Jimmy Smith
saying-
and Cole.
Hey, let's give Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb a microphone.
Don't do
No. Although Thunder Rosa's promo this past Wednesday and her presentation was much better.
Well, they cut her off.
They started
though.
playing the music.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they
but
did.
here's my issue with that promo. It's, I'm Mel. I'm being real right now. Let me give a promo that sounds very scripted.
Yeah,
That was my
That
issue.
Serena Deeb one was rough.
That-
I didn't see that
Yeah.
one, but that
Oh.
is exactly what I've
Oh.
heard.
It was rough. and it just kept going.
And you know what sucks? Like the match that they had in Philly, the street fight that they had, crowd was not into it. Great match.
I wasn't into it.
Oh, they're gonna have a really good match on the pay-per-view.
Yep.
That match is
Yeah.
gonna be excellent.
But yeah, but the crowd didn't care. They were working around like the chair and like one specific thing, and the crowd did not care
Yeah.
about it.
All right, let's get into our baby faces of the month. I'll start with you. You're gonna steal mine.
I have one.
What do you see? My
I only
paper?
have one for these.
I know all three of us probably have the same one.
I'm
Nope.
gonna say Wardlow.
Wardlow.
Yep, I'm gonna say well,
Wardlow.
dude's over.
So I don't have him as the best baby face, but I have the antithesis to him as the best heel. I have 3 under best baby face.
Okay, so do I.
Riddle. The run that he's been on in
Just don't ask his ex-wife.
Yep.
Not a
Yeah.
babyface.
Yeah.
No, total heel.
Are people who've traveled the road with
Yes.
in the past. Yeah.
the run that he's been on with RK Bro, and specifically the first promo this past Raw that he cut was
He's probably been the best babyface in WWE. I'll give him that.
yeah, it was such a good baby face, like saying "I love you" to Randy Orton into the camera. Crowd was buying it.
Yeah, they
And
were
that's-
into it.
and that's all. Again, that's what I kind of base this.
Yeah,
list on.
I still think the crowd's way more into Wardlow.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
but
Naturally.
but
yes.
my focus isn't on Wardlow. My focus there is on MJF.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. People really
I-
are. They're pulling harder for Wardlow.
Wardlow got me to care about a Shawn Spears match.
Yes.
I didn't think that was
Yes,
possible.
Yes.
Did Wardlow get you to care, or did MJF get you to care?
No, it's both. I think see the
both.
spotlight's on.
I know
both
who
for
did
me.
get me to care. Shawn Spears.
I will say this.
Ha!
I think right now, and this I will even put this over more than Punk, which is crazy to even think about or say. But I think more people are anticipating this Wardlow MJF because I think Wardlow is
Yes.
bringing just as much to the dance floor as Punk without even
Yeah.
talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Punk and Punk and MJF
Wardlow's
had great.
Wardlow's not talking, and that's the point that I'm making. MJF is. Wardlow does
But
not have that
Wardlow
baby face.
doesn't. I don't think at this point Wardlow does need to speak.
just
he
I
just
agree with
does
that.
shit.
His
He
music
just
show him
puts
walking in the
people
ring.
through.
I
Gives
agree
those
with that.
punches. You know.
I've said this a million times. I'll say it 1,000,001. When you have the big guy with the big muscles,
And does the flip.
and all he does is come out and beat the shit out of everybody and win in 20 seconds, 100% of the time that guy gets over. He doesn't even have to be good.
Wait, what was the criteria?
Big guy,
Muscles,
big muscles, comes out.
handsome.
Doesn't have to be handsome.
Yeah.
Well,
It
so
helps.
Doesn't
It
have to
helps.
be
so
handsome.
Ryback.
Yes. Ryback was, don't you tell
That
Do not
that
tell me
clip-
Ryback
more
wasn't
stuff was
over.
over. I will
The
give
do
you
flat-
not
that.
tell me Ryback wasn't over.
that scene, and I wasn't even watching at this time, but when Ryback was on top of the Hell in a Cell,
Yeah.
people were losing their shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
The big guy doesn't have to talk. Doesn't
The
have to
only
do
thing
anything.
more they could do to put him even more over is have
I
him
think-
come out of a box.
When Ryback had his downfalls when he started talking, wasn't it?
That's
They
when
start-
Goldberg had his downfall.
No,
and then
but
when he had to
again-
wrestle more than 15 minutes.
But
we've already seen Wardlow put on
Right.
20 minutes, like
Yes.
15,
Yeah,
20 minutes.
Wardlow can do a
Wardlow's actually
swanton
good,
bomb.
which
I
makes
mean,
it
come
better.
on.
yeah, he's got it. Don't get me wrong, but I when it comes to the reaction, I feel like more of that is negatively charged towards MJF more
Oh yeah,
than it is
having
positively
a great
charged.
dance partner helps
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
But
But I think Wardlow's bringing just as much to the table as MJF.
Yes,
like
he
it's
is.
not
I think he's
MJF's definitely not. He's not.
Promo,
He's not
if he was divorced from MJF, he wouldn't be as big as he is now.
Yeah.
But if he just came out every week and beat the shit out of somebody and pinned them in 15 seconds,
that's why I'm afraid if he gets a title.
That puts him that pigeonholes him.
Yeah.
That's and
well,
that's,
that
again,
that
that's
never
why
lasts. That never lasts forever. But
Because
while
eventually
it
you have to
lasts-
cattle prong him and then wear a bulletproof
Yeah.
vest, and you have to.
While
So
it lasts, that guy gets over every single time. It has
I think
never
it's-
not worked.
I just think it's more so on MJF than it is Wardlow.
I see. I think it's both. I think
And
they're
I
great.
see both, and I
Yeah.
see both. I just see.
I
it
think
more.
MJF is throwing great softballs,
Oh.
and Wardlow's putting him out of the park.
Yeah.
Let's
Absolutely.
just we'll revisit that when we
Yes.
talk about our top heels.
Yes, I agree.
because I'm sure we're all gonna have that same top heel.
Yes.
It sounds
So
like.
I have
Um,
a honorable mention for babyface.
Okay, I still got a couple more then.
All right. So my number one babyface, number two babyface behind
Yeah.
Wardlow, is someone's brother in the business.
Matt Hardy.
No,
Jeff.
no,
Devon.
no. Ezekiel.
Oh god
The
damn.
dude's over.
You're so right. You're so right.
Spoken like a true NXT 2.0 fan.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's right out of it, yeah.
Ezekiel is over. And I will say, I think we're just mixing heel and baby faces together because everyone's number one heel is pretty much the guy we said was the
Is
anticipated.
anybody's number one heel not MJF? Let's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Who's
I didn't rank it in any order.
Yes,
Okay.
but MJF's on your list.
Yes.
All right. So I will say the reason Ezekiel's getting over as hard as he is because of Kevin Owens.
Kevin
Yeah.
Owens is phenomenal.
So I will say Kevin Owens is on my list as heel as well.
If I didn't make a list. I thought we were just doing one of these. Kevin Owens is on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as other faces, the Blackpool Combat Club, not necessarily their promos because the Regal promo, Daniel Bryan's not really that much of a promo. He's done some great stuff.
You
that
take
I've
that
enjoyed.
back.
Hey, his Planet Earth champion.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Like, he
I have
does.
been saying for 20 years because that used to be his rap. Oh, he's a great wrestler, but he can't
Yeah,
talk. Like
he's a-
no, he can talk.
But when it comes to getting a reaction out of a crowd, he doesn't. The Yes Movement he did, but
Go
like,
back and watch Ring of Honor.
I just think of a lot. Well, I'm not judging Ring of Honor.
I thought
No,
his,
no,
I
no,
thought his
yeah.
Planet Champion got a lot of crowd reaction.
I just think like there's a lot of stuff, especially when he's a face.
He
that
doesn't get a
is-
big reaction. Only the biggest chant in the history of the last 10 years of business.
No, and that's because
Then
he's
that chant then went on to be a hockey chant, went on
Yes,
to be
yeah.
everything.
completely charismatic and one of the most
I mean,
captivating
Diego Sanchez
performers.
started it, but
Well, but
Yeah.
so
Um,
Jerry Lee Lewis took Woo. That's
But-
that's
but
where Ric Flair got
also-
Woo.
also not necessarily, and I'm trying to stick
Hulk
to like
Hogan
the
stole everything from Billy Graham.
I agree.
that is true. The recent stuff though, like the Regal promo wasn't the best, like the toothbrush up the arse.
Yeah.
But anytime Moxley's music hits, anytime Brian Danielson
I
music
don't
hits,
like the Blackpool Combat Club.
really,
I love everyone in it. I don't like the Blackpool Combat Club.
I think it just does a good job of like when they start elbowing everyone, crowd is on their feet every time.
I would
Moxley's
be-
music hits, crowd is on their feet.
I would be
every
a million
time.
times happier if every Blackpool Combat Club segment was a Brian Danielson singles match. It would make me 100% happier.
Yeah,
1,000%
for what reason?
happy.
I still like
Because
a
he's
Mox
the best
promo.
wrestler in the world.
And he's stuck
And
in
you're
a
putting him
statement
in
of
six
faith.
mans.
I see.
And
I
he's in
see.
a gimmicky.
I see.
He's in a gimmick.
No, it's fine. No, I'm fine. The Planet's Champion was a gimmick. I was
loved
fine
it.
with that.
Yeah.
It is taking a Ferrari and entering it into the tractor pull.
Okay.
It's like I'm going to sign Tom Brady and I'm going to make him an offensive lineman.
I will say this: if I was at the Bloomsburg Fair and they said we're having a tractor pull and then a Ferrari pull up, so that's going to be in it, I'm going to be in the seats. I'm going to
That's
watch
true.
it.
People, it's gonna.
I'm like, that's going to be a shit
Yeah,
show, and I
that's
want to
gonna
see
be a
it.
shit show, and I want to see it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I will
I'm going
say
to hire Ryan Reynolds for my movie
Ha.
and I'm going to have him play a cashier in the background.
Well, wait, no, you could hire Ryan Reynolds for your movie and have him wear a mask for half of it. Oh, wait, they did.
worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have one other face then.
Go ahead,
Cody.
Cody.
Again, I just think the run that
He's doing a good job.
he gets the reactions that
You
he
know,
needs
I
to.
have the heel. I have another heel too. I'm
Okay.
gonna go to Jericho Appreciation Society, and I know I think you hate them too.
I'm
but
Not a
they,
fan.
They
Again,
they get under your like enough to get on their skin. The way they mock WWE,
Yep.
the AEW Galaxy. I had a
Yeah.
bust out laughing at that. I think that
and
was great.
It has its fun moments. Like I said, my favorite segment was the dark side of the ring thing. I think that's fine. But again,
Mhm.
it's all about you're just misusing talent.
It's
so
it's
much.
not anything that I'm gonna remember for all of
Right.
these guys.
Like if this arena brawl thing is going to be
But-
like the stadium stampede stuff.
Then
it's
again,
like,
we're not talking about all time. We're also talking about what happened this
Just
month.
this
Yeah.
month, yeah.
like if this arena brawl thing is going to be like the stadium stampede, it's going to be goofy and silly, and that there's a place for that, and I'm fine with it. But again, you're taking the best wrestler in the world, the best wrestler of his generation,
yeah.
and you're putting him in a comedy match with 9
I just think it shows for all of the guys in the match that you can do more than one thing, that you're not a
Well, I
one-trick
just
pony.
think they're committed to a story and they're like, fuck, we have people. What do we do with them? Let's stick 900 people in different stables.
which I
yeah, that's the other.
That's the problem
Yeah.
AEW's having
Yeah.
right now.
AEW can only really book strong, like 3 people at a time, and right now the 3 people they're booking strong are MJF, Wardlow, and CM
He needs to
Punk.
bring people. I don't know
Yeah.
what the backstage thing is, but they need help with the booking.
agree.
Yeah.
It's very loose. Was
my-
there any other heels?
I have a heel. I have Avery Good.
Yes, oh, he's
Um,
phenomenal.
Not only is he amazing at getting himself over and character over, development over, but in an arena full of people of his that are his friends and family,
Mhm.
he had people chanting his opponent because he's such a good fucking heel.
Yeah.
He had his own kids chanting for his opponent. You know what I mean? Like he's good at what he does. He's so good. And then on the same show, I will say one of my favorite baby faces in professional wrestling. As soon as she hits the curtain and you see her smile, you smile. There's no other way around it. And not only is she a great baby face and she gets everyone energy up as soon as she hits the ring, but she knows how to switch it and become a psychopath and a badass and put on a barn burner and break her opponent's job, but not even mean to. Willow Nightingale,
Yes.
I think it's a great baby face.
Excellent.
And that's my picks for baby face. Now let's go to tag team.
Well, hang on a second. I still have a
I'm
heel.
sorry. Go ahead.
I still have a heel, and it's all 4 of them individually as well as them as a group. The Bloodline.
The Roman
like,
Reigns and that whole stable is fantastic.
Sammy especially has done a really good job.
Is he officially in there now?
Yeah. Well, he teamed with them officially, and it was like kind of, I guess, like cool.
I'm into it. I like it.
Yeah.
Like Roman hasn't really wrestled this month, but yeah, he's
top of the
goods.
he's top of the heap.
Sammy's been doing a really good job in helping Riddle become this babyface that he is.
Yeah.
Sammy's incredible.
Yeah.
Sammy's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tag teams.
Okay, I have 3 of these.
I have 3 as
Okay.
well.
My number 3 is RK Bro.
I'm right with you on my
Fair.
number 3 spot.
Fair. No argument here.
Yeah. Kelly,
Number 3 for me, this is the one I didn't write down. So I'm going to go Roppongi Vice because I liked Roppongi Vice. When I first saw the Young Bucks, I saw a lot of their matches with Roppongi Vice. And I'm kind of glad. Plus, I'm a big Trent fan. So I'm going to go Roppongi Vice.
I like
kind of
that.
coming back.
RK Bro is definitely on there for me. But a different one from them. Said it in the blue Bloodline, but the Usos.
Usos are my number 2.
Usos are my number 1 right now. And there's a little kayfabe to that just because they unified the titles.
I respect that.
My number 2?
It's probably going to be my number 1.
The FTR.
Yes.
Yep.
The best tag team in the
That's
world.
my number 1 as well.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm saying this for this month is because we didn't see a lot of Young Bucks. I'm sure if they would have been more active, they'd be on the list. But
Yeah.
they did a lot of groundwork to set up for what we're going to see at this pay-per-view.
There was so much story devoted to FTR as a team and as individuals.
They took a back seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
keep an eye out if everything you have to say counts for June. June might be the month of our buddy's main event. They got a big match coming up at House of Glory. Main event on the Briscoes.
Oh wow.
My probably my favorite tag team ever.
Main event.
Yes.
They're getting there. They're on they're well on their way. But no, the Briscoes.
Oh man.
The Briscoes and LOD are like neck and neck for my favorite tag teams ever. They're completely different, but oh, do I love the Briscoes?
Oh my
If
god.
a member of the British Strong Style wrestler, then a group could live up to the Blackpool name. I guess he's saying if they had an actual British Strong Style.
Yeah, I mean Danielson does sometimes try to work that in. He loves like the British style. He loves the British rounds wrestling. But yeah, you don't have like a snake pit person.
Yeah. Let's get into.
Wait, who was the is it Woods, the former
Josh Woods?
Yeah,
Josh
I
Woods,
think he
yeah.
would fit well in there.
Oh, you know who? As an honorable mention to go backwards real quick for heel, the Mecca. My God, is he?
Oh,
entertaining.
Brian Johnson's
Brian
incredible.
Johnson. Did you see what he tweeted?
No.
He tweeted. So a fan asked me who my favorite sports athlete of all time is, and I
Mhm.
told him it was Tanya Harding.
Oh,
What a savage!
That's awesome.
And I retweeted him back.
do
and
you
just-
even know what that is, Austin?
yeah, back of the knee. Come
Okay.
on.
I-
I'm a little
Alright.
cold
and I
for it.
literally just retweeted back to Nancy Kerrigan holding her leg.
Well,
going,
that's what I was a little girl. I don't even know if you were born yet.
No, I wasn't, but I'm a little well versed.
Okay, good.
It was a triple threat. Sorry, a PPW to go back. Was the Mecca Brian Johnson versus Alpha Junior versus Damo,
Okay.
and he did his job.
He is a guy that I have become a very big fan of.
So good.
And not even I haven't seen his matches in PPW yet, but I have been involved with production in a lot of his promos. And oh my goodness, if you think he's good in the ring, Brian Johnson is intense.
Oh.
He is very intense, very passionate about what he does, and he does not fuck around. And I love that about him. He is one of my favorite people to work
And it helps
with
he's
in
from Philly.
production. Yeah, that doesn't help either.
From where?
That helps.
He's a Philly guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's got the Kurt Angle 3 eyes. Intensity, integrity, intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in your face. He's got
Yeah,
four.
he's-
eyes.
okay.
Yeah, he's fucking a badass. All right, women. Top 5. I have 5.
I have a 5 here.
Yeah, I have 5 too.
I'll start with you, Austin.
Okay, so the first one I have on my list, again, no order, Asuka. Main eventing Raw, for
She is my
since she's
she
been
is my
back.
number 2.
Yeah, I have them in order, and she is also number 2
She's
for me.
not even on my list.
Love
Oh.
Asuka.
I'm very curious. Your list.
I have, and I made my women's list more on potential of what they could be in the future if they
Asuka
play games
is
right.
probably
but we're
right.
banking it on what they did this month.
Yeah, but they made big strides.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Asuka's number 2 for me.
I'd like to hear the start of your list then, Kelly.
You wanna?
Number one.
Either
Number one.
part of your
Number
list.
5.
Okay,
Let's start from
so-
the bottom. Number 5.
Number 5. Well, I don't have her written down here, but it's Cosmic. I seen
Oh,
her.
yeah, I'm cool with that.
She's starting. I mean, I only saw her twice, and I know you guys love her, and I love her too. She's really starting to jaw jack when she was walking around, really talking smack to some fans.
Getting
and
good
the
in the
way
ring.
getting good in the ring.
There's a match right
she
now.
has a good presence.
I don't know the name of the promotion, but there's a match out right now you can watch. I believe it's on the internet. I know there are clips of it everywhere of her and JC Storm.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
Another favorite of
she
ours.
has a good presence. Do you want me to just go down my list because I probably don't have any.
I don't have any independent women, so I'm kind of.
So,
I have one that's
My
kind
next-
of independent.
Yeah, I think we. Have
My
the same-
next one was an independent too. It was Danny Moe because Danny Moe
Danny's
had
fantastic.
what she was on AEW Dark this month.
She just went down to Texas and did some stuff with
Mission
Thunder Rose.
Pro, yeah.
Mission Pro.
She had her
Oh,
own.
wow.
her
Thunder Rose
own-
is very high on Danny Moe.
By the way, if you want
Right.
to kind of share this with the camera,
Yeah.
I have been
Here's a
possession of
cosmic. chibi.
Oh, nice.
cosmic chibi keychain. Yeah.
So Danny Moe is the other one because of her AEW Dark appearance and her great showing on Saturday Wrestling, even though she lost the belt. Her little PPW cartoon card that has to be a big. That's a big deal, and it was really nice looking. So I also
Yeah.
I factored that into it too. So
I'm gonna
Putting wrestlers as a cartoon character on your logo is a fucking hit.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I'm gonna piggyback on your number 4 with my number 4 because my number 4 beat Danny Moe for the PPW
Oh.
She is
women's
my
title.
number 3.
Tasha Steeles.
Tasha Steele's
Killing
number
it
3
in
for me.
Impact Wrestling, dethroned Mickey James, collecting belts. It was so funny because I was like, oh wow, Danny lost the title to Tasha Steeles. How about that when we were at PPW? And right before that, backstage, Danny came backstage. I think it was during the intermission, and she did a really cool photo shoot.
yes, with all her titles.
She had 4 titles.
It was
She had
awesome.
a PPW women's title, like 3 other titles. One was like called I think like the retro wrestling or something, or old
Yeah.
school.
She like
wrestling
Ultimo
federation.
Dragon.
She was like
Yeah,
the
she-
belt
she-
collector there.
She was
had
halfway
them
to the J
drop-
Crown, yeah.
Yep, draping off of her arms and around her waist. It was awesome. To
And
see.
then Tasha Steeles comes back with the women's title. I'm like, oh, so that's why she had that picture.
yeah,
I remember just before pandemic and
Yeah.
and there was talks that Danny Moe was going to become champion and they're thinking she's there. And I remember saying I love her to death, but I don't know if she's there yet. Like we're like she only like 3 matches
we
into
saw
her career.
Like we probably saw her like her 3rd or 4th match.
yeah.
Yeah.
Super entertaining, but she just didn't have. And then literally that entire pandemic, she just worked her fucking ass off.
She came out of the pandemic a completely different wrestler.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
where
Same
she
with the
took
Dina
it-
Steele.
she took
Mm-hmm.
it and made it to her favor at that
Yeah.
time, where other people, like, no offense to
Oh.
anybody, because it was a hard time, but some people just didn't use that time wisely. But
Mhm.
she did.
Yep, she killed it. She changed herself and she changed her abilities. And I mean, like that just goes to show of if you have a strong partner,
Yeah.
you know they both complement each other very well.
They certainly do.
And one thing they both have is just drive, passion, and work ethic. They're the first ones in the building, usually the last one to leave, and they work their ass off.
And they're not right around the corner either. There are people that have like an 8-minute drive to the PPW show.
They drive very far.
They're driving literally across the state.
Wow.
They're driving 4 or 5 hours to get to the show, and
That's dedication.
That
they're last
is.
out the door.
I love them to death. They're good people. The
And-
neon blondes.
The
Yes.
neon blondes, yes.
I'll kind of go backwards. My number 5 is gonna be Ruby Soho.
Not on my list.
Not on mine. either.
Not a knock on her. I couldn't remember her even having a match. I know she has
Just the
had a
bracket
match.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she's gonna have a match with Statlander on.
I'm excited for it.
So Chris was my
Rampage.
number 2. The
Oh
way
wow. Okay.
she's kind of transformed and went from the alien, and you're seeing her more on Dark and stuff, is more of this
Whoa.
more than
See,
woman character.
I think she's going back to the alien because she started painting her face again.
Well, there was one
Well,
promo.
they're-
That would
they're
require me to
doing-
watch Dark.
more than woman type thing. They're not really saying the alien, but she's more than a woman type thing.
yeah, I hate it. Just keep her an
She's a
alien.
big Bee Gees fan now.
Yeah, just keep her an alien. That's her thing. Let her rock at it.
I'll give it a shot. I mean,
Yeah, I love Chris.
I'm a fan of Statlander.
I love
yeah.
Statlander, and the fact that they're trying to strip away what makes her unique is and the alien thing. She made it because that's her personality.
Yeah.
She thinks she's like I'm a weird fucking person.
She's
like-
legitimately an alien.
Yeah, she's literally says I don't feel like an alien because I'm into extraterrestrial or anything like that. I don't like. She goes, I just literally feel like I don't belong here.
No, it's like alien as a route to alienation to where it's different
Yes.
than the rest. I
Yeah,
get
she's
that.
because she's like when I'm backstage, I run around people I'm not comfortable. I kind of keep to myself, and I keep to just 1 or 2 people that I'm comfortable with.
Well, she can now that she isn't necessarily alien focused. She can show that
Yeah.
as an actual wrestler too. So that's good character.
Yeah.
develop.
Right.
Also a product of Creative Pro.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Creative
Shout out.
Pro. Wow.
And former a stunt woman.
One of the Creative Pro is a school that is really building a legacy right now, really building a name for themselves.
Another on my list is gonna be Britt Baker. She's number 4.
She is my number 5.
She did not make my list either. These are ones I picked thinking they made some good strides this month. They're gonna come up and do something. My third pick was Julia Hart. Even though she didn't wrestle, she had that slight possible twist there with her and Malachi Black that they might soon turn her.
I think
It's such
Anna
a-
Jay had a good month too.
How long we're gonna wait for this Julia Hart thing? Come on,
I understand that.
Mm.
Yeah.
get it over with.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Only
Yeah.
AEW woman that I would consider is Jade. Just because the formation of that stable just kind of solidifies that gimmick even more. And I just think she's on, not necessarily in ring, but as far as a performer, she
Yes.
just has
She has a presence.
she
her
has it
presence,
down.
attitude,
She's
charisma,
great
yeah.
look. I love everything about her.
And her
I'm
on
having
the
a hard
mic,
time
she's
buying
good.
it yet.
She's good at promo. Like she doesn't need to do much work on that.
My issue is that there's never women's merch at AEW shows. When you go there, it's like CM Punk, it's AEW.
You'll see some Brit.
No, at least when the 3 that I've been
He's talking
to,
about
Oh,
for
in
like me to
person,
go
okay.
and buy
Yeah,
a shirt,
okay.
right?
I've been at every Philly show and there hasn't been a woman's
Oh, wow.
shirt. And specifically, I don't think there was a single woman shirt, especially Jade. I don't know how you don't have her merch at your
that's true.
shows.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't sell because they might have more of like
Well,
a
how much
male-
merch tables and stuff do they carry anymore? Do they come in with a lot? Like 1, 2, like a whole big 2 or 3 table
There's-
setup? Or...
Yeah, it's like a 3 table setup kind of deal.
Yeah.
But it's only the one spot.
Mhm.
But still, I don't see how you don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least one lady on the.
I hate that when you go to WWE, they take all their T-shirts and they triple the price by $20.
Oh, AEW is the same way now.
Yeah.
Ugh, I fucking-
Yeah.
Well, even as a woman ordering from AEW, I told this to Andy the one night. You have to pay an extra $5 for a lady's T-shirt. Do you know that?
Women's tax.
Yeah. So if I wanted a ladies' woman's fit T-shirt from ProWrestlingTees.com, I have to pay an extra $5 for it. And I've done it once, but I'll never do it again.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault I have boobs, I guess, and I want a form-fitting T-shirt.
Is who's so? Are you saying that she's your number 1?
No,
Jade?
again, I didn't have an order to
Okay.
but she's the only one from AEW that made my list.
Okay. You're number 1. Kelly.
Mine was Anna Jay.
Yeah, she had a great month this year.
Yep.
This month. Sorry, yeah,
Anna
this year.
Jay. I think she's going to be in the future. She's going to be a big star. She's got the look. If she can get more of her wrestling talent down, she'll be good to go.
She's on the Dark Order, and I love her.
Yep. I
Yeah,
love Anna.
only like what, 21, 22?
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah,
so many years
I
ahead.
love Anna.
Who's
I
your
think
number
she's
1?
Gorgeous.
So Asuka from like a booking perspective is probably my number 1, but when it comes to performance, it's Becky. Just the consistent dive into her losing her mind, but not just losing her mind, and like the
So
attention.
her and her
to
husband are
detail.
both pulling that off, the losing
Yeah.
their mind.
And I don't like that. I don't like that they have very
They're like
adjacent
piggybacking
characters.
it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Although it makes sense because both of them have been in the limelight for a little bit now. So I see that limelight starting to crack. And it's not like it's forced for their characters. It makes sense for both of their characters because both of their characters were also in a title match
I don't know.
where they
Seth-
defended them against or with each other.
I'm huge fans of both of them, but I would say for both of them, these characters have been really big low points for me.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love Seth Rollins.
Seth's outfit there for
I don't mind the outfits. Just
WrestleMania
the whole
was like, what
I'm
the
being the
hell?
Joker.
And I love the
almost.
blue on black.
I think
but-
Cody's rejuvenating Seth because now he's
I think he's leaning harder into it, and I
Yeah.
hate it.
well, no, I think he's leaning back more into his Shield characteristics, with him attacking Cody during the match from behind, beating the shit out of
But
him.
that's called
too.
being a heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
But he's still doing the like it's just
Joker.
fucking-
Oh,
the
just
Joker,
shut up
like,
already.
Like he's the Joker without face paint.
Bailey did the same thing. She would laugh. She did almost that identical laugh.
Yeah, but
that you just
Bailey was doing like I'll call the cops Karen thing. And I
Yeah,
thought it was
she-
fucking
The
awesome.
Karen gimmick was great.
did. Yeah.
Becky is actually my 3, and then my number 1 is Bianca Belair.
Bianca's, my number
Bianca's
1.
on my list as
Yeah,
well.
Bianca as well. All right, in the chat we have Shayna by Chio. We have Jordan Blade. We have Erica Lee and Max the Impaler. All Chio said for top stars in the area. I agree with all of them. They're all fantastic. The only problem for me, I didn't really watch a lot of their matches this month.
Yeah, Erica Lee had a very fun match at the Lehigh Valley show.
Erica Lee's is a bright spot anywhere you watch. She's fantastic and should be somewhere you like. It's another one. I think she'd be on an honorable mention for babyface for me.
Yeah,
Very high babyface.
yeah, always fun, always high energy.
Where are we at? An hour 30. All right,
Yep.
men.
Just underrated. Veda Scott had some very underrated heel work at the Lehigh Valley show.
Yes.
And congratulations to her, just got married just a day or two ago.
Her and
Speedball Mike Bailey, yeah.
So for men,
Oh, okay. I've
Someone-
seen those pictures.
again, no particular order, but someone who's probably near the top of the list for me is Hangman.
Not on my list and not even
not
close.
on mine either.
If I had a list
I-
of top 5 baby faces in AEW, Hangman would not be on it.
He's not babyface again.
If I had-
I'm
Just
saying
male.
top, yeah,
Just male. This is the male category now.
What match this
overall.
month puts him up with
not a match.
just him in
The
general?
way that he is booked and the words that he says against CM Punk, I believe everything that Hangman Page says. And he makes it's not just CM Punk in that feud. Hangman makes that feud for me.
That
He
promo-
feels to me like a mid-carder that somehow wandered into the main event.
Yep.
Is he Mikey Whipwreck?
No, I liked Mikey Whipwreck.
I completely disagree. I don't think Hangman misses when he's in big matches either.
Oh, the matches will be fine. It's just he
What's
feels,
wrong with his promo?
he feels out of place.
Again,
He feels out of place.
I know that people want your champion to be like your Roman Reigns, to be the top of the card, to be the top draw, but that is not. He is a cowboy. There's a
But then don't make a
reason,
cowboy your world champion.
but okay, I see
This
that.
isn't
But
Mid-South.
do you think he didn't deserve to win the title when he did?
No.
No.
Okay.
So my
He did
take
it because we drew up this plan and we got a script and we're
you
sticking
don't think
to it.
he was super over at the time
Oh,
he
yeah.
won
Yes.
the chip?
And
He
I-
was, he
and I
was
give-
over,
no,
but then they
not
should have
as-
had.
And if you want to talk about Wardlow, the credit belonging to MJF. The credit for Hangman belongs to Kenny Omega.
Yes.
Okay. I can kind of see that, but
So-
I do see that actually.
where my problem with Hangman is, and I think he's talented, I think he's good, as I think everyone know from the start of AEW that it was going to be Jericho, Moxley, then Kenny.
I think the Moxley one threw people for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah, the Moxley was what you probably should have done instead of Hangman, where Moxley came in, you're like, fuck, we got to put the strap on him.
Mhm.
And then you went to Kenny because it was there. And then everyone knew when Kenny had it, you're like, oh, like everyone knew going at some point in time it was going to go to Hangman.
yeah,
And it was just written on the wall before the booking even started. And then they finally booked it. And it
doesn't
happened.
mean it's bad.
Doesn't mean it's bad. But what the problem is when you were transitioning from Kenny to Hangman, you brought in all this
Right.
talent.
That's the problem.
You brought in this giant wave
I
of
totally
talent.
get that, but again, like it's literally, and it's not for everyone,
It
but
would have
it's
been
literally
a bigger and better payoff if he had a run through a champion like a Bryan Daniel champion or
But that's not him. He wants to prove that he is a cowboy. He's not the top draw. Like
Well, if you're not the top draw, don't be the champion.
Yeah.
Don't if you're
It's
not.
hard- it's hard for me
if
to
your
buy
goal is to not be the top guy, your goal is to be a cowboy. Then go be a cowboy. You don't need to be the champion. You don't.
I
need to
see,
be in the
and
main
I
event.
don't even think he wants to be a cowboy because he comes out like he is what they say, the anxious millennial cowboy. He comes out with his Tesla with the longhorns on it, and he's not a cowboy like Cowboy Bob Orton was. Do you know what I'm
So
saying?
Where's
Well,
his
yeah.
cast? Where is his cast?
He may wear the hat, or no, he doesn't wear the hat.
no, I
Excuse me.
just think it's the way that he shows up on his terms.
Mhm.
It is his terms. It is his
See,
battle.
that's not
it is his
believable to
turf.
me anymore.
I don't
That
know.
went
Well,
out the
this last
window.
promo with him saying he's defending AEW
Totally.
against Punk, I believe that still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the chat, we have someone saying your camera's off center. I'm very well aware. We're trying to figure it out, but it's tough.
Do we need to just like angle our
No, I just
bodies?
don't care. Thank you for calling it out, though. I appreciate that, and for watching. I hope you give us a like.
Yeah.
Adam Page is now the Barry Windham when he was champion.
Well, Barry was like the NWA champion. He was never like the WCW champion.
Is this a safe place for alcoholics? Sure, you can have a beer with us. We're drinking.
This is not AA.
We're doing
everybody.
cowboy shit.
This is not AA.
I just like how he is. I
That's
like how he
okay,
is,
and
right?
everybody-
yeah, you can be a fan of it.
You
Oh,
can
I'll
be a fan.
stand on that.
My
yeah.
problem is as soon as he got the title, because of who was all on the roster, I'm already saying, man, what if it's Bryan? What if it's Punk? What if it's this person? What if it's MJF?
and I
I feel
get
like
that.
everybody else has surpassed the level of their character because Hangman was like, am I with Dark Order? Am I not with Dark Order? Am I with this person?
And,
Am I with
and
that?
I get that, but his matches deliver every single
But
time.
that's the thing. So they're like,
Everybody's matches in AEW deliver every
I
single time.
disagree.
Who's not delivering?
Their women's division to
Okay,
an
yes,
extent.
yes, correct.
but what my problem is like, all right, Hangman, you're part of this, but you don't know what stable you're in, you don't know what you're doing, and then you turn around, you're like, shit, how do we save him? Because he's fallen. Put him in a death match,
I'm gonna.
and you've seen him in like 4 Texas death matches.
No, I
I'm
think it
gonna
makes
say
sense for
something-
him and Cole to have a death
I'm
match.
gonna say
Wait.
something that's going to be a little controversial
Yeah.
here. Hangman and Adam Cole did not deliver.
Yeah.
It did not.
Besides
deliver.
the big spot at the end,
Who,
no.
who is not delivering? Adam Cole
I
is not
agree.
delivering.
I think
Adam
he's
Cole is not
completely
delivering.
regressed momentum wise. I think he's completely
Yeah.
We'll
We'll see what happens after this tournament.
I think he's winning it. so.
Probably
Yeah.
there was I forget where I read it, but there's something that like they were saying some people their title reigns are about the reign, and some people the title reigns are about the moment where they won it.
Yeah.
Hangman is definitively the moment where he won it. And if I were Tony Khan, I would have had him drop it to Danielson.
Yeah.
I would have had him drop it to Danielson.
I just don't see what like
The-
Danielson holding that title does, other than like,
It's
well, like,
I
I
am the
understand that
AEW
he's the
champion and I am
best.
the best wrestler in the world. And then, who can you? If you're calling yourself the best in the world, who can you feud with? CM Punk.
But that's been done in wrestling before. Why are we doing it again? And that is
Everything
AEW.
in wrestling has
That
been
is
done before.
Not NXT 2.0.
For a reason,
That is the difference.
They all just
there.
started 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that's the difference, though.
You know what else
NXT
hasn't been done in wrestling? People shitting into their hands and throwing it at their opponent. That hasn't been done either. For
Hey
good
man,
reason.
I got it on my wrist. Maybe I'll bring it out.
Here's the thing is another thing I like with pro wrestling is we just had a conversation. I said, I don't know when it happened, but I said in our private chat, I said, by the way, we talked about the private chat. I think what we're going to do is like, we need to make a subgroup, like a sub thing on our pages and have our conversations there to start interaction.
yeah, like live chatting during like Dynamite.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to figure that out. I mean, I think the private chat's still fun, but I think we're going to make like, cause I think on the Facebook groups now, you can actually have subgroups where like people can go in there and just chat like it's a chat room.
Yeah.
We're going to make one there.
It's a room, I think it's technically, but I don't know much
like a
about
sub.
it.
I have to look into it because there's one on Bang and Bears. You can do like a sub room,
Yeah.
and it could be like
It's only type though. It's not like you can see.
Yeah,
each other,
no,
right?
it's
That's
Thank
yeah.
it's just
God.
typing, and I think that's what we're going to start doing. And the private chat's fun, but I think those conversations could be seen, and we can have them with the general
Yeah.
people. But anyway, what we said in the chat is, I said about Strickland. I said Strickland and Bay. I said, has that match happened? And they're like, yeah, but I don't know if it happened 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Just because it's already happened, where they are right now in their career,
Yeah.
makes it re-interesting again. We've seen
Yeah.
Bucks and Hardys,
Yeah.
but we've never seen Bucks and Hardys at
In
this point in their
AEW,
career.
Well,
right?
no, and I get that. But like specifically, my gripe is with like the Adam Cole guys, like the Ring of Honor guys who have literally been wrestling with each other their entire lives, like PWG, Ring of Honor, AEW, NXT.
But they're not the same people they were then they are now.
Well, yeah, that's because they got older.
Yeah,
there's more
I was just kind of
experience there.
freestyling when I said that. If I had Danielson as a champion, Punk probably wouldn't be the first guy.
Yeah.
That's a guy where you can kind of have him veer babyface like they did,
You can run a longer
then-
show with them.
and
Well,
then you can
and
have because somebody's got to be the guy that coronates MJF.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
the end game here. If you have any brains in your head,
That's
or
true.
unless you're like, yeah, he's definitely leaving in 2024.
Yeah.
Unless you're in that mind state, it has like your
It
end
has
goal
to be
right now
Punk
is
for it.
how do we put the belt on MJF? Well, if Punk turns heel, then I don't know. Because what are you gonna do? Have a heel versus heel match?
No, you could turn MJF
Or
face
you're,
on that.
you make
yeah.
MJF that tweener, where he's an asshole with people.
Not everybody can be a tweener. though.
No.
No. Where his moral ground would stand solely with one. It's literally what Hangman said. He wants to defend AEW against a guy like
That is
Punk.
so against MJF's character.
I
MJF
agree.
is
He's
not a guy who's
selfish.
like, I'm standing up for this company that I always
Yeah.
make fun of and say I'm
He's
going to
a
leave in
selfish
2
son
years.
of a bitch.
Yeah.
No, but if
Oh.
Punk's being the guy who's being the overlord, MJF's character, he already has an issue with CM Punk when he left left wrestling. He would probably have an issue with him ruling wrestling as a dickhead.
I am fine with MJF going babyface, but it's got to be time.
I love how
and
this
Yeah.
Hangman
and
Hannah
you-
Page started some
you-
conversation.
basically your MJF babyface turn is just I'm MJF and I'm going to be a dickhead, but I'm going to be a dickhead to the heels now.
Yeah.
Like he's the same guy except it's pointed at the heels.
No,
Yeah.
but with Bryan as champion, like I do like that. They could have had first match been Garcia in this JAS right now.
Mhm.
That would be a perfect match there.
Yeah,
Well, it's
but
not a
right now, if
pay-per-view
you
main
push a
event.
Garcia
Yeah.
and you're sitting on Keith Lee and Adam Cole, people are going to be like, "What the fuck? We have all these names."
Yeah.
That's kind of the predicament they're in.
And,
All right, so we
yeah.
have Hangman for you as your number one. Who's yours?
Mine is Wardlow. And then we're probably all gonna mash up here in a bit because
Wardlow's not in my top 5.
he's
No.
Wardlow is my number 4.
yes,
Really?
Yeah.
Wardlow's
love
mine.
me some Wardlow. don't
I
get
love me
wrong.
too. Love me some
My number
Wardlow.
one for this month. I don't know anyone who's had a stronger month when it comes to in ring. Kyle O'Reilly.
My number 2.
Yeah, Kyle has been killing it this month.
Not on my list.
Yeah,
It's
some
just-
great bangers.
I expect that out of him.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's literally nothing different. That's why it's nothing that's really markable for me.
I've never seen him wrestle Ray Phoenix, and that was pretty dope for me.
Which that is.
It was
fair.
excellent. It was an
Yeah.
excellent match.
Yeah, he's my number one. Number 2.
Number 2, MJF. So
Okay.
I'm if I'm
Yeah.
going down, the 3, 4, and 5 are a little different.
MJF, my number 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Very easily could have been my number 1 too.
Just kind of anywhere. Again, not only.
Remember when I
heel-
was the guy that hated MJF? Remember those days?
I know.
Did you hate MJF
Oh,
at one
yeah.
point?
That was probably our first like bromance fight was MJF.
Was that when he was like more like earlier?
No, it's when he flipped off a
It's
kid
when
in
he
an
flipped off
autograph
the kid,
signing.
yeah.
And I was
You
like,
didn't like that
It's like it's a little too far. It's
too
like-
far.
and I think he's reined it in because my whole gripe with MJF was I used to think he was the wrestling version of Dick's Last Resort.
Mhm.
he still is.
He is, but he's gotten better at pointing it in the right direction. Where like Dick's Last Resort is this restaurant you go to, and the whole gimmick is you get intentionally bad service.
That's essentially what he does at autograph signings.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, and then
Hey, I seen him with one. I don't know if it was a little girl or something, and the little girl. I don't know if the dad was telling her to flip him off or something,
Yeah.
or boy, it might have been, and she just kept giving the peace sign, and he picked her up. He's like, "No, you're not even doing this right. Get away from me, little one."
Dude, he's a savage. Like,
Hilarious.
there was a thing where the guy in a wheelchair was like, "You're a piece
Yeah.
of shit." He's like,
Yeah.
do what I do," and he just stood up.
Stood up. I seen that too. I'm
Well,
like,
again,
oh, what a dick.
he's a guy who
And-
understands that it's about moments.
but this is the stuff I'm like, yeah, that's kind of corny. Like, it's not that I'm offended. It's just like, that's kind of
See,
But people, I
Corny
think
and-
people who go to his table, they expect that. And
yeah,
they want that.
it's that's what Dick's Last Resort is.
Yeah.
It's corny, it's hokey, it's easy, but in the space of pro wrestling, he's an incredible heel.
yes.
yeah.
And in that space, he is, and then the in ring, he is consistently delivering.
As an overall performer,
Yeah.
that's why I think on all of our
Mhm.
list.
Mhm.
Like I
He's
totally
one that
agree with
gives you
that.
moments. He's one that gives you moments. He's one that can actually wrestle as well. He's
Yeah.
not bad in the ring.
Yeah.
He's quite good.
Yeah,
He's like 26.
No, he's like 24.
24, 25. He's
Well,
super
he was
young.
24 when he came in, so I don't know if he's still 24. I don't know how much he would have aged.
Well,
at
I
this
mean,
point.
Rey Mysterio has been 21 for
That's true.
25 years.
But the way that
26 now. Yeah.
he,
Oh, he's
yeah,
26
yep,
now.
he and Wardlow come into television for the first time, both at the same time. They both had not. I don't think they had any experience
No,
unless
born in
MJF was like a
96.
security guard.
He was,
Yeah, I did
on an
see that.
NXT takeover with Samoa Joe. Yeah,
Oh yeah, he pushes him.
yeah.
Yep.
For MJF to be that good already, like that's the kind of position you would see a guy like Punk in to get a guy like Wardlow over to be that like piece of shit heel. But the fact that MJF is doing it at 26 is
Yeah.
just mind boggling.
And then the other people on my list that we've kind of mentioned already. My number 5, Avery Good, professional wrestler.
He is my
and
number 5 as well.
My number 3, CM Punk.
I will have for my number 4, I have Action Andretti. I have my number 3, Swerve.
Swerve.
Then I draft.
Great month this year for him, and he's just been killing it. And number 2, it's going to be our champion, the Sanctuary champion, X Division champion, and killing it right now in New Japan.
Yep.
Ace Austin is
Oh
going to be my number 2.
Good pick. It was a
He
really
and
good pick.
Alex Zane, I've been following them on social media, having a lot of fun in Japan.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Ace Austin is just behind Kyle O'Reilly for me, just because I don't have New Japan, so I can't
Yeah.
watch the matches. Unfortunately, do you still have a?
No, I used to, but
We got to figure something out. Because he got me Impact, so I could fucking watch Impact all the time now. But yeah, so Kyle for me, just I love that dude, and the fact that he's putting on heater matches again and kind of doing like a singles thing, even though he's still
currently leading Block A in the
Oh,
best of the Super
really?
Juniors. He is 10 points
Good. Cool.
behind leading Alex Zane, leading Taiji Shimori. He's defeated Alex Zane. He's defeated Clark Connors. He did lose to Hiromu.
well,
He beat Ishimori, beat the Bone Soldier.
wow.
He beat Yo. And he beat Kanemaru. He has only lost one match.
Well, didn't Hiromu say he wants to challenge for the X Division title
Yeah,
in Impact? I believe I saw that in one of
would
his
be an
promos.
excellent match.
Oh
Yeah, that would
my
be
God.
excellent.
so I gotta fucking watch these brackets. Men's who do you have that we didn't say?
The rest of them, I had number 3 VSK because of that match. Was
He was
so
on my
awesome.
list, and I scratched him for
So,
Avery, but
the
he's really good.
Third one was VSK. The fourth one was Eddie Kingston for his promo ability, and he just makes me laugh. He actually gets me interested. And my fifth one was Ricky Starks. I think Ricky
Nice.
Starks
love Ricky.
is a very big dark horse here. That he can be very big heel too, just as good as MJF one day. We can get him there. That's the thing.
because he's got a great look to him.
He does.
Like even without anything he says or does.
For me, he's
He has a
different.
face. You're just like, fuck that guy.
I see a lot of the character that I
Yeah.
am developing.
Yeah.
And Ricky
that-
Starks. He's
yeah.
just different for me. That's why I like him. He's a different look, a different everything.
He's also
a
like
different presentation.
feminine. He's like flamboyant, and it's an edge that he has.
He
on
is that Louisiana Mardi Gras, and that's where he's from. I mean, that's very likable for me on an end of like, oh yes, he can be a dickhead, and I could see where the Cajun guy coming from. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Was it
So
this month or last month that they did the really dumb thing with that tag match? where you have Swerve and Keith Lee against Ricky Starks. And
It's been
Hobbs.
off and on for 2 months now.
Yeah.
No, but they did the one in Louisiana where Starks is a super baby
I think that might have
face.
been at the very beginning of May or that last
Oh,
week
I
in
hated
April.
that.
Yeah.
I hated that because you cut Keith Lee and Swerve off at the knees doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they gave him his babyface win, his hometown win. All right. Did everyone get their lists out?
Yeah, the only well, so like I said, the bloodline has just been like
Yeah.
heel but performer as well. And then I've said Cody and Seth a couple times. Just that
Mhm.
feud in general is just good stuff
All
for
right.
WWE.
We're gonna fly through plugs here because we are running a little long. We're over the 145 mark. So we'll start with Brian. What do you got to plug?
Murder My Dude returns in about 2.5 hours at midnight with an episode all about Lacey Peterson. And that whole thing, if you were around 20 years ago, and I can't believe it was 20 years ago already almost, that was such a huge
big.
media story.
That was one of those trials that was just on for months.
Yeah, and just the they call it missing white woman syndrome.
It was the equivalent of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard
Yes,
Boy, I'm
media scrum
I'm
now.
so
except
sick of
actually important.
Yes, and it was actually important.
But yeah, that's recovering, and then we do the This Week in Murder where we do cover some things, and we actually recorded as news was still kind of breaking with this school shooting in Texas, so we do touch on that as well. Project209.com. You can find Murder My Dude. Just look up Murder My Dude wherever you found this podcast. You'll find us too, and we're very big in Bulgaria now. I think Miro's a listener.
Mm.
At one point, for a few hours there, we weren't just a top 100 true crime podcast in Bulgaria. We were a top 100 podcast.
Wow.
Nice.
God's favorite podcast.
Yes.
We have not ranked since. We
We got to use that.
God's favorite podcast.
hosted by two atheists.
Here it is. Kelly.
That's a great.
Two atheists, one pagan.
What
I'm
do you
talking about Murder by Dude.
Oh, I thought you meant here.
Yeah, no, we're not ranking at all. Kelly.
Yet.
Until
I get that Bulgaria bump for us.
I don't have really anything to plug. Just plug the shows. Check out all the shows on the IWEP network.
Austin.
So shout out the Sanctuary for helping me, as John Trotsky said, help me achieve a dream, because that is what they do at the Sanctuary. So shout out the Sanctuary. And then June 3rd, Blood Sweaters Wrestling, Cataclysm. I'm going to be watching MIT. His name is Tavius Jackson Murray.
Now, is this Blood's SWEATER?
Yes.
Now, are they sweating blood or are they wearing like a sweater. of blood?
I would expect both. If I don't see either, I'm going to be disappointed.
I want to see a blood sweater now. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Now, is it like all dried or is it like fresh blood? Is it wet?
Or is it
Is
just
it fake?
or is it just an all red
Is it
sweater?
like
and
Freddy
they're-
Krueger after a Friday night?
Or are they just like representing?
Or do
like,
they
blood?
literally sweat blood? Like,
Well, I might at one point. You'll see.
Yeah.
It's an idea. So yeah, shout out the Sanctuary, shout out Blood Sweaters Wrestling, shout out IWEP Network, and shout out Anthony for having me back here.
Yeah, man. Thanks. We have some cool stuff coming in the future. We'll announce then. The only thing I have to plug is there's a new podcast. I don't know if it's new or anything or just new to me. I found it's called Good Pods. So it's an app you can download. It's called Good Pods. And what it does is when you go on there, it's kind of like a social media presence. You make an account, you can put your photo up there, and it's kind of like a Facebook, but it's not. It's all geared to podcasts. So when you listen to an episode, it kind of puts you in a feed, and then people can see what you're listening to, and then people can comment or see how many listeners listen to that podcast. So it's a way to be like, oh, wow, 10 people listen to your podcast, and you can kind of like rank it and say what you liked about it. And it's really, really helpful for independent podcasts to get noticed and seen. They have like group pages in there, so you can join group pages and talk. Like, so say if we had this episode and it was in a wrestling group and people like, oh, I like you and talked about this, this, and this. So it's a great way to get some feedback. It is kind of brand new. It's really, really starting to get its legs. But if you are a podcaster or if you're just really into podcasts, it is a way to find your audience and find your niche and maybe find a new podcast to listen to. It's broken down pretty well by genres and stuff. It's pretty cool. Check it out. It's called Good Pods, and they do have social media. They're not paying me to say any of this. I came across it just trying to find out where our podcast.
I want them to feel better about themselves. Great pods.
Yeah, you guys are great pods, not just good, but the best. Pods.
Best pods, yeah.
The best. But yeah, so I think it's kind of cool. That's the only thing I got. That's my plug.
And what's our next week's topic?
Next week, we will be talking about last matches. We kind of threw it out at the beginning. Yeah, we're going to talk about last matches, the real actual last matches, and then the ones they said were the last ones, but weren't really the last one.
I know it's on my list. We'll see you guys
Is
next
it
week.
the shorts you're wearing?
We'll see you guys next week. I'm
God.
sorry. I love you.